Which one are you watching, Jake?
I'm on the I'm still on the Pat McAfee one.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or did you go to the actual draft part?
Yeah, I'm on the draft. I'm watching the draft right now.
I'm gonna put that one on too. I've got like a bunch of different devices in front of me in the
Oh, nice.
computer. Yeah, I got my iPad and two phones running.
Man, this is another day of hope for all of us NFL fans.
Right?
Man, happy 2024 NFL draft, everyone. If you're listening in right now. Um, yeah, it'll be tight. We'll try to get this thing going live some one of these days, but we are here. Jake and I are here. We're watching different streams of the NFL draft. We got the Pat McAfee show going. And we also have the NFL draft going, different channels here. But hopefully, you guys get a little bit of entertainment from this as we listen in and watch the current NFL draft. We'll be giving some perspectives and our thoughts from it. Jake is really prepared. He's really prepared for this year's NFL draft. Me, not so much. I'm just really just focused on one or two picks today. We get two picks in this first round of the NFL draft. We being the Chicago Bears, my home team, my team that I choose to root for. You might be asking, notice how did you become a Bears fan? Like you don't not anywhere near the Bears, not anywhere near Chicago. How did you become a Bears fan? You might be asking yourself that. And as we progress in the show, you'll figure out, you'll find out how I became a Bears fan. But Jake obviously he grew up in the New England area and he's obviously sporting his New England Patriots gear.
Yep.
Lots of luck to you, Jake.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
luck to
You
you
too.
tonight.
You as
Yeah.
well. It's exciting because we're both at you have multiple picks and there's a lot of excitement. We have the number three pick. What's going to happen? Are we going to get Drake May? Is Jaden Daniels going to fall, the LSU QB, or is we need reason why we're the Bears are much better shape in my opinion in terms of like overall team. New England has a lot more holes, so I could see us trading down, although I don't want it. But I understand why that would happen. This seems to be a really deep offensive draft. So a lot of great tackles, a lot of good offensive players, a deep wide receiver draft, some really good QBs at the beginning of the draft. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I do think we're going to see a lot of trades this year. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, and I don't know how prepared I am. I spent a little bit of time trying to find out a little bit about some of these guys, but it's trying to see where. But at the end of the day, that's the fun part. It's kind of like gambling. We're just gambling, guessing at the picks. I'm
Hmm.
sure everybody that loves this kind of stuff has been doing their mock drafts, and you can kind of try and guess at based on teams' needs where people are going to go, but you never know. Like, there's a couple things to keep an eye on in this draft.
Mm.
The Vikings have two first rounders. They have 11 and I believe 21. And they made a trade to get that. So yes, they have pick 11 and they have um, pick 23, right? And so there's a lot of rumors on them coming up and trading with either the Chargers, the Patriots, because they seem to have their sights set on either Drake May or JJ McCarthy from Michigan. So that's something to keep an eye on. There's also rumors that the Giants want to come up from pick 6 and make a trade either with the Arizona Cardinals at 4 to grab a quarterback. And these rumors are they really like JJ McCarthy, but again, this rumors could be smokescreen. And I don't think the Patriots will trade out unless they really get like 3 to 4 first rounders or a blue chip current player. And I'll give you an example. I don't think they'll move from Minnesota unless Minnesota gives them those 2 first rounders, a next year first rounder, and Justin Jefferson, which I don't think the Vikings would do that. But that's the standard I think that the Patriots have set. I don't think they're moving unless they get something like that. So very interesting to see what's going to happen. But a couple other teams to really keep an eye on is Las Vegas. Really needs a quarterback. So a
Yeah.
lot of people have been painting Penix there.
Hmm.
So you could see all 6 quarterbacks going in the first round, and then look at Denver. Sean Payton really wants. It has been linked to Bo Nix as a similar guy to Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is kind of like a he's able to move the pocket and throw on the go. And so that's another one to keep an eye on is Denver, what they do for quarterback. Denver doesn't have a second rounder as well right now. So a couple things to keep your eye on there.
A lot of good input there, Jake. A lot of good input, man. Been
Yep. And
been going through your draft, your mock drafts, man. Paying attention. That's
yeah,
what's up.
yeah. It's always interesting to look at the QB hunt because QB is the most important position in this game, right? And so naturally, that position is going to be overvalued. And if you see a run on quarterbacks, which we will, you got to have your guy. So even
Mhm.
these mock drafters might have him big boarded down to the second round. I
Mhm.
doubt, we could see all six quarterbacks off the board in the first 15 picks. Now, the other exciting thing about that is if your team is defensive hungry in an offensive rich draft, that means that your player who should have gone earlier is going to be available at like 15. He might have normally gone 3 or 4 or 5. So those that aren't as offensive needy or have high like defensive end need for their draft, they're going to have a chance to see some guys be there that normally wouldn't in a normal draft that wasn't so offensive heavy. So that's another thing to kind of look at in this draft particularly.
Mhm. Before the draft gets going here, we have about it's the clock is just about to start. Um, we have a special. This is a special draft for us at all for our podcast, as in Coach and OFA program. Big shout out to Coach Will Kofe and Tech and their OFA program out in Utah. They have a student or an athlete that is going to be drafted this year by the name of go for it, Jake JPJ from Oregon
JPJ,
for
make sure I'm
short.
not on mute there. Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson is the full name there, and came out of the OFA program. Is slated. I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about him as well. I don't know if you did you ever interview him?
Nah, I never got a chance to meet him.
Okay, because
He
he was
was
already up at Oregon.
Yeah, he's already up at Oregon, but Coach and Tech and them, they've been working with that kid since high school and now through college, and what a great moment for them for this year's draft to be able to see their product, basically their athlete being drafted today. So, what do you see JPJ going today, Jake?
So there's a couple spots. Let me actually pull that up in the chat because I had looked at that and just kind of had my eye. So my sleep. Let's start with my sleeper pick, right?
Let's go
Because I
for it.
do think there's some sneaker teams like so Kelsey retired, who is the longstanding center of the Eagles. So that's my sleeper pick for JPJ. So I heard one scout say that JPJ is nasty for no reason. And that's a thing that you kind of want to hear. And just in terms of his O line play, the way that he goes after every play, the way he's that guy, right? He's got an attitude on the field, real nice guy, seems like in all the interviews. But when you see him play, like it looks like he likes the contact and will go
Really cool.
after, seems to be a really smart player, very physical, light on his feet as well, very mobile. He's just got all the tools. So let me actually let's go find that chat from yesterday. Bear with me a sec. Notice.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, JPJ, he is amazing. He's ruthless and detail oriented. Obviously, he's been coached up by Coach Will Kofe and the OFA program, and how important that first step in their foot placement is. You know, OFA also happens to be one of our main sponsors here for our podcast. So shout out to OFA Football Academy. You can find OFA and learn more about their programs at ofafootball.org. So if you need to tap in with Coach, all of you in northern Utah or in the Utah area, please tap in with Alpha Football um, and their program in Utah, Salt Lake City area.
Right. And so and there aren't any teams that look as if centers that are number one need, but number
Hmm.
two need, number three need, number four need. And so um my sleeper pick was the Eagles.
Hmm.
But there were some other needy teams like the Seahawks need center, the Bills that are drafting at the end of the first round. Keep an eye out for them for drafting JPJ. seems like his consensus rank is somewhere in the 20 to 30 range, based on a whole bunch of different big board programs. It's like the 33rd I took from NFL. I took from PFF. I took from a bunch of different programs. So somewhere in there, you'll have somebody come in there. The Steelers have a need for center as well. But the interesting thing about JPJ, he's also looked at like the way he plays. He plays like an elite guard, so he could play any of the front three positions: left guard, right guard, and center. And I
Center.
think he's viewed there, and so that positional versatility might get him drafted a little higher because he is more than a center.
Nice. And once again, I misspoke on that link for Alpha Football. It's alphaacademy.org. So if you want to connect with alphaacademy.org, they're one of the leading off-season technical programs for offensive lineman play. So alphaacademy.org. Please reach out to Coach Will Coffin Tech to get more information about them and hook your kids up. So this is the first official. Coaches coached a lot of kids that went to the NFL and got drafted, but this is the very first guy from his program from the Alpha Academy to go to the NFL draft. So this is really special for him, and shout out to you, coach, and your program. But yeah, very exciting, super heavy offensive draft this year. Offensive heavy draft. A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of O line, right? Right, Jake? What you're
Right.
seeing?
Yeah. I kind of found my notes here. So Bears, Cowboys, Panthers, and then
Hmm.
we Chargers, and then we said already talked about the Steelers and the Seahawks, and even the Bucks. They all have.
Needs. I got you still. Do I still have you?
Okay, I think we're back.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so the Bears have a need at guard and center. So that's a sleeper, especially if I see the Bears trade down to the end of
Hmm.
the first round. You could see him. You could see him go. There is a chance he'll go early second round too. I don't think it'll happen, but depending on how this run on the quarterbacks affects everything else, and there's a lot of wide receiver talent. We'll see what happens, but I would anticipate he's going to go today. That's just my guess on that. With all those teams that are needy at guard and center. But yeah, exciting to see. Should be happening here in a few minutes. We're a few minutes in actually already. I don't think we have the first pick in yet. Oh, they're booing Roger Goodell. All right,
Yeah,
here we go. Are we on the clock?
yep, we're going. They have started.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, and everything's pointing to if you're watching the draft right now, you're seeing all those Caleb Williams, all these first rounders in the commercial right now with Roger Goodell. Yeah, this is exciting. If the Bears don't choose him, I would not be surprised. This wouldn't be the first
I'm
time the Bears would fumbled a NFL draft pick.
I don't
But
think it's a fumble if they went Jaden Daniels though. Like
hmm
so I like him a lot too.
hmm
I do think that they're gonna pick Caleb Williams.
yeah,
I don't see it. Like the Vegas odds are too strong on that.
yeah, two super duper strong, and he's a good talent, man. Everyone's looking for the next Mahomes, is what I feel, and he has the highest potential, the gems or whatever they call it, to be able to produce that. So we'll see what's
Right.
up. But I do see them trading their number 9 pick. They trade down.
Get a second rounder.
Yeah, I do see them doing that.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I wouldn't be mad. We'll see who's on the board at 9 and
Oh,
kind of this is gonna be crazy.
Eminem's walking out. Of course. They're in Detroit this year for the NFL draft, and they got Eminem coming on out, slapping his tunes too with Roger
Yeah.
Goodell. Here we go, y'all. Good luck, everyone. Happy draft day.
Happy draft. Here we go.
A day of hope.
And and don't mind, if there's a little bit of silence here. We're just listening to the draft and kind of following along with as the picks come in, and then we'll announce them too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exciting, man.
Oh, is that Eminem?
That's Eminem. Marshall
Look,
Matters.
he looks weird with mustache.
Yeah, facial hair. He's trying to hide his age. Interesting note or factoid about Eminem. Oh, Jared Goff. Oh, are they introducing the team, the Detroit Lions team?
I
Looks
think they're
like it.
just getting some Detroit celebrities at the moment.
Oh, Calvin Johnson, man. Of course, they got Barry Sanders coming on out. He was so. Do you remember watching Barry Sanders?
Dude, he's insane. He's probably my favorite highlight film of a running back, of old school running back to watch.
Yeah,
I know
man.
Sweetness was good too, but man, Barry
Yeah,
was just like the way that he would reverse the field. I never
right.
seen anything like that.
Exactly. Special person. Hmm.
Right now, people in Detroit are chanting the Jared Goff name. Those of you listening to it's some of the main Detroit players coming up on the stage. Eminem, Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff, Calvin Johnson was up there, and Barry Sanders.
Yeah, Barry's coming to the mic. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, Detroit showed out for this. I love how the fans always boo that guy.
Yeah. They still don't like him from like how he disciplined some of the players. They don't like him from Deflategate. They don't like him
Hmm.
from a bunch of things.
Hmm. He's done well, like being able to cope with it, like adding it to part of his routine or whatever.
I mean, he's getting paid like what, like 12 million a year or whatever. It's
Mm.
stupid salary. Yes, maybe more.
All
On the
right,
clock are the Chicago
go
Bears.
Bears.
Let's go.
So in the first round only, I don't know if many people know this, but in the first round, all the teams, all 32 teams, they're allotted 10 minutes to choose. So they get 10 minutes to choose, and they're on the clock. Clock has started. Chicago with the first round pick, pick number one in the first round. We haven't made the playoffs since 2020.
Breaking news: the Eagles' AJ Brown agrees to a 3-year, $96 million extension.
Wow.
He's a beast, man. He carried me through. I had the best wins on all fantasy football leagues I played in last year, and he was a big reason why I had him in both leagues. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Get his money, man. Okay, the Bears draft room looking all dapper.
You looking at
I,
the Bears draft room right now?
yeah, they're all, they look paranoid and stressed.
Where are you watching that part at?
Oh, just on another YouTube, um, NFL Network.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't know what is this channel. I can't even tell. I'm watching it via YouTube TV, and they have these different angles or rooms.
Got you.
But yeah, I didn't know he was only 6'1". Caleb Williams. He's only 6'1".
Yeah, he's built. He's not the tallest, but he's built like he's muscular. So he
Hmm.
built thicker, like an athlete.
Hopefully, someone told him to get rid of his gum. Just a pro tip, guys. If you're gonna be on TV, during
Yeah,
something like NFL draft, get rid of your gum. Do not chew gum on TV. It makes you look totally
looks tacky.
irresponsible.
Looks tacky.
Yeah, man. But yeah, wonder if they're gonna use up the whole clock or just pick early. They got 7 minutes to go.
Yeah. If I was the Bears, I've been up there like 3 seconds in. We picked Caleb
Yeah,
Williams.
for real. I wonder who's gonna announce it for us. I wonder who's gonna come up there. You know how they do that this year?
Yeah.
They're probably all right. They're gonna get someone like.
Every so many picks, they'll pick somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Typically it's not always every pick, but
Mm-hmm.
they got like Make a Wish Foundation stuff, and they've got players from certain organizations, and they got a bunch of different cool stuff that they'll do.
Mm-hmm. Come on, boys. Come on. I like how our coach, Eberflus, he put on a little bit of little facial hair. He looks more like a coach now. Oh, there's a
Yeah,
call. Caleb Williams just picked up his phone. He's just got a phone call.
let's go.
Let's see.
So big board, of course. Right now, we'll see if there's any surprises, but big board consensus. Big board number one is Caleb Williams
Yeah,
across the board. The Bears have
across the
the
board.
pick. The
Yeah.
pick is most likely in, and we are waiting to confirm if it is Caleb Williams or not.
I heard some things about Caleb Williams that he wasn't a Bears fan, that he was a Green Bay Packers fan.
I
So
think they're a fan of whatever until they get drafted. Look at like P, who played in the league, right? In our chat,
yeah.
he
Oh
was
yeah.
originally a Cardinals fan, right? And so but then he played for a bunch of different teams, got drafted by the Eagles, right? Had a stint uh with Washington and then AZ and then Kansas City. So you by who pays you, you can be a fan of who's paying you and your teammates, right? I
Mhm,
think the dynamic will change once you're in a
mhm.
locker room with somebody.
Yeah, and getting paid. So
Right.
Ryan Poles, they have this image of Ryan Poles right now. Just got off the phone. Now he just handed the phone to Coach Eberflus. It looks like we did get Caleb Williams. Looks like we're getting him.
Did it show
So
Caleb Williams answering the phone?
they showed him answering the phone. Yeah,
Okay.
it's, the Bears got him, and they were so like I don't know if you guys were watching the any of the what is it the combine NFL combine this year. Well, I was following it. I was following the Bears their press conferences during the combine, and they did the most horrendous job of revealing that they weren't going to trade Justin Fields. They like no one like gave them talking points. They totally revealed that they were going to draft or they were going to trade him and draft
Yeah.
Caleb Williams during the combine press conference. It was so messed up.
Yeah. That's a tough situation because, from what I gather, a lot of the fan base liked him.
Hmm.
He didn't like even right now as your roster stands, the roster is better than what they ever gave Justin
Hmm.
Fields to play with. And his big issue though was, yeah, how do you play with your athleticism and not get hurt? Now that's a fair criticism. Was yes, the guy is super talented, but he couldn't stay healthy. On the reverse side, he had a new offensive coordinator every year, right? So
Hmm.
how are you going to expect lack of talent, lack of O line, and a new offensive coordinator, no quarterback will succeed under that type of. So, anyways, getting him a fresh start over there with the Steelers, we'll see what
Steelers, yeah.
happens, too. So, like Russ, like we'll see. I mean, is Russ even good anymore?
Right.
He did not play well at Denver. So,
Mm.
it may be his turn over there. And that Steelers roster is pretty talented and good coaching. So I am excited to see what will happen to him. Of course, you want to see a kid succeed.
Mm.
Uh, I don't have any, real I don't have I'm just a fan. At that point, he was never a part of my team. I did want us to trade for him,
Mhm.
but I just want I want the kid to succeed, and I do think he has the tools to do so.
Mhm. And again with the Steelers, their coaching staff seems like they have a better fit for him over there. We'll see though. We'll see.
Yep,
And it looks like the pick is in officially
they
on the.
waited long enough, huh?
Yeah, certainly did. Crazy. So, if for some reason they do not pick Caleb Williams, who would you?
it'll it'll be Jaden Daniels,
Yeah, Jaden Daniels,
LSU QB. Yeah,
LSU. Yeah.
it'll be him. That's the biggest mystery right now for the number 2 pick. All right, here we go. Roger Goodell looks like he's going to present this first pick.
Oh, okay.
Congrats. Let's go. Notice.
Yep. There you go. Let's
Super
go.
Bowls, here you come.
I
I do
hope.
think I think in 15 years when we talk about this again, 15 years, you and I will be mixing and you'll be talking about a couple of Super Bowl championships and how he was the best draft pick they've ever made.
Man, I hope. I hope. Let's go. Hope they, put some
Bro,
coaches around. That
he
was
looked
Latu right there.
bro, he looked like a dog too.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I don't care if
Yeah.
his fingernails are painted or not. He looked like a dog.
Well, he wore the proverbial sacrificial dress.
I don't know if that was actually accurate, but or
I know.
a true picture.
Yeah. Well, here we go. I love it. I love the energy coming on the stage screaming. Let's go.
Bill's talking about him right now, Bill Belichick.
What's Bill saying?
So Bill's talking about like initially, like at the beginning when he was drafted, the way Russell Wilson was, where Russell balled out, right? He went to 3 Super Bowls or 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. So if he is Russell Wilson early in, that's a good that's a that's a good ass comparison from Bill. And so Bill's issues with Caleb is more consistency, don't turn the ball over, and then play within the framework of the play. So that entails Caleb's tendency to pass up open guys at times, and try and go for like a bigger play where that's not going to work as often. Like play on script where you can, and then off script is definitely going to be his strength. That's something that you can't really teach. He already has that, right? So if he
Hmm.
can learn to play on script where possible, you're really going to play into his strength. Super accurate, great athlete.
Doing a little
Make
live
all your
tweeting.
yeah. So Bill is saying that talking about his quickness on his release, which is huge for being blitzed. That's good. That's great for especially for a rookie quarterback, and his accuracy is excellent. And as a reminder, Washington Commanders, excuse me, is on the clock.
On the clock. Yeah.
Consensus with the Vegas odds are pretty close between Drake May and Jaden Daniels going there. The Commanders have been like super quiet on who they're going for, so it's really just been speculation. The Commanders have literally released nothing. Now, Adam Schefter said to the Commanders fans, "Go ahead and get your jerseys." A couple weeks ago, there was some reporting from Jaden Daniels' agent that
Mm.
Jaden Daniels didn't really like the visit there because they had 20 people come in along with three other quarterbacks at the same time. So they didn't really meet with them individually. They met with them as a group. Now, this may have been just to try and hide their intent, but that was the messaging that came out from the agent. Take
Mm.
that for whatever you think that's for.
Mm. Mm. Caleb Williams is talking now. He's giving some remarks on his draft. It's a nice little. Okay, okay, nice little prepared statement. He gave rattled off. That's what's up.
What did he say?
He said he cares about the community. He cares about his teammates, and then this is the good thing that he said he cares about his teammates' families. Oh, he prepared that one, bro. That's a prepared
Take
statement, bro. That's clutch. That's perfect. Perfect statement to say.
feed your O line, bro.
Yeah.
Feed your O line. Take care of them. Buy them. You guys win a little something. Buy them SUVs or buy
Hmm.
them sports cars. Sports cars probably aren't going to fit them. Buy them some SUVs. Buy them some
Mm,
caddies.
there you go. Very interesting. Congrats, my fellow Bears fans. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Oh, Caleb Williams taking pictures now with the crowd. Okay, nice. They're showing images of Caleb Williams in the crowd with the Bears section, taking selfies with the group.
Let's go.
That's dope. That's dope. That's what's up. That's the energy I like to see from my new quarterback in this uh quarterback rating laden league.
So Schefter just tweeted
What do you say?
updated look at last year's Panthers Bears trade. Okay, Bears receive wide receiver DJ Moore,
Mm-hmm.
dog.
Dog.
He's a baller. I'm glad you guys have him. That dude balls out. 2023 first round pick ended up being offensive tackle Darnell Wright. That's what we were referring to earlier when we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about the prior drafts there. 2023 second round pick was cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. Do you know him well?
Stevenson.
Yeah. Did he play well? He was a rookie
Uh,
last year.
I don't remember. I don't recall. Probably, yeah, probably ball. All our rookies did good last year.
2024 first round pick, of course, now is Caleb Williams. And then you also you still have Carolina's 2025 second round pick next year.
Mm,
So,
that's right. That's right.
and the Panthers just got number one pick, which was Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
Bears are looking good from this trade. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, they're good.
Being they now had you
Washington pick is in.
if you had picked Bryce Young but if you had picked CJ Stroud, you guys would be in a good position too. So
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels goes too. Damn, I was hoping we were gonna
Dang.
get him. I'm okay with Drake May though.
That's what's up.
But
Another quarterback off the board.
yep, yep. The
LSU
Vegas odds
quarterback.
were slightly in that favor. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
Vegas is good
yeah,
so far.
yeah, they're pretty good, man. They don't do much losing. Vegas, does a pretty good job of trying to win. Congrats to the LSU fans and Washington Redskins Commanders. That's what's up. Latu's gonna go first round then.
Yeah, for sure. It would be, in my opinion, right? For sure. It would be, he might drop a little bit because of the medicals, but I don't see him going like at the latest to pick 20. I think he'll get drafted by this. I think he'd get drafted by the Steelers there at
Mm,
2021. If he's still on the board, if he's still on the board, then you also might see somebody trying to trade up to get him too. So because
mm,
if there was no medicals, he would be probably top five, top
mm,
10 at the least
mm.
if he didn't have those medical issues.
So who you got? Who's 3, 4, and 5? Jake. Who's pick 3, 4, and 5 this year?
So we have the Patriots at 3.
3. That's
Then
right.
at 4, you have Arizona Cardinals.
Ah,
So
the Cardinals.
Donga and Big P, all the stuff they were throwing in the chat, who they wanted. They were referring to Marvin Harrison Jr., who has been penciled into them. So that's
Hmm.
probably there. Although on a lot of big boards, he's actually the number one player or number two player, either just ahead of Caleb Williams or behind him on a lot of big boards out there. So that he's slated to go 4 to Arizona Cardinals. 5, you have the Chargers. 6, you have the Giants.
Mm, that's right. The Giants.
Yeah. And then 7, you have the Tennessee Titans. 8, you have the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Jaden Daniels. That's quarterback number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he's exciting, man.
Did he win the Heisman?
Yes.
Nice. That's what's up.
Patriots on the clock, baby.
Good luck, Jake. Who are you thinking again for your third for your pick, number 3 pick overall?
Our biggest need is quarterback. We have huge holes at tackle. We have
Mm-hmm.
huge holes at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
At least an X receiver. So we need a bigger, taller guy that outside the numbers. But most likely we're going to take Drake May. So unless somebody offers us like 4 first rounders, like I was
Mm-hmm.
telling you, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
we'll come off that pick. I think we'll take Drake May. I don't think anybody's going to offer us enough. Something similar to kind of what you guys got for the number one pick. I don't think, because the need is so great at
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, that I just don't see us moving off that pick.
Mm.
Maybe down to 6 with the Giants, if the Giants are going to come up and take Drake May, and we're okay with JJ McCarthy. There was a lot of big fans of JJ McCarthy in the Patriots building. I was hearing from our beat writers. So the Pats like all of the top 4 guys. So they liked Shin Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and JJ McCarthy. I think at 6 it's a little rich for JJ McCarthy for me, because the big knock with JJ McCarthy is he threw his attempts. He made about half the attempts of Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. So he was run heavy in that. They won the championship, but he didn't have to throw a lot.
Mm.
So when he did have to throw, he balled out. But the sample size is less because he would make 10 to 20 attempts a game versus some of these other players where the sample size was smaller. So the worry is he did play in a pro style offense under Harbaugh, but so under center, drop back,
Mm.
that translates really well. And the kid he was a 5-star recruit out of high school as well. That's the other thing. So his talent was there early before he went. So the question then you ask is, okay, was his talent suppressed in that type of system to win, because they had a really dominant offensive line, great tight ends, and they were able to just run you over, right?
Mm.
So that's just the danger with that pick. There is he throws well, he's accurate, he's a good athlete, but the sample size isn't that great.
There are a lot of weapons for
Drake May, let's
got
go.
him. Pick is in and got him.
Yeah, we got him.
Nice. Congrats, Jake. How are the pieces around for in New England for him? Your set
Oh
pieces.
boy,
Yeah.
they're not there. They're missing.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have a lot of good like mid-level receivers. So we
Mhm.
got Kendrick Bourne that we got from San Francisco. He's a half black, half Samoan guy. Shout out to our Polynesian people there. So
Shout
we've
out.
got him. We've got um like a lot of guys. We got a guy from the Vikings that's like a similar type of route runner. So he's the thing about Kendrick Bourne. He's a baller, more of a Z receiver. Can play out of the slot too. but he's
Mhm.
not really our stretch the field kind of guy that we need. And then we have a second rounder that we got a couple years ago, Tequan Thornton. That was a burner, but he's never been able to stay on the field because he weighs like 170 pounds. So he ran a 4.28 40,
Mhm.
but we can't get him to stay on the field. So we don't have anybody. Um, we don't have anybody great for him to throw. So hopefully in this draft, the next pick, I'd like to see us get like Xavier Legette or maybe Adonai Mitchell from the Texas receiver if he falls.
Mhm.
There's a couple I'd like to see us pick there, either tackle or wide receiver at our pick two.
You know who Drake May reminds me of?
Who?
Frank Cush from Jerry Maguire.
Right.
I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie, Jerry Maguire, Frank Cush. He was the
Yep.
he was the he was the talent that Jerry Maguire was trying to get the draft or be his agent or whatever. Cush. That was an epic movie back then. Pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Show the dates are age, but hey, pretty good movie. But man, yeah, Drake May, man.
So we still have Hunter Henry too. So we got him from the Chargers a couple years ago
Mm,
at tight end. So he's good. We got a little slot guy named Demario Douglas who's really good, but he can't stay healthy too. Had a
mm,
couple concussions already. He was a rookie last year. We still have Ramondre Stevenson for our running back, so that's good. But in terms of dominant wide receivers, we don't have a lot there.
Drake May.
We still have Juju Smith Schuster, but he hasn't been able to stay on the field either, as
Oh,
well.
that's
And
right. He got injured.
yeah, he's more like a big slot. Anyways, he's not a true X.
Mm.
I still remember when that block he did on who was that guy who was that guy that was knocking everybody out and like was being called dirty.
Did he
What
play
was
for
his
the
name?
Chiefs?
It was the
No,
Chiefs or maybe was it Cleveland? Didn't he
and
come
he
out of
yeah,
ASU? But he would
I
knock
can't
everybody's
remember.
blocks off. I still remember. So Juju. So this linebacker went after one of it was in the Steelers game when Juju was still with the Steelers
Mm,
and knocked one of his smaller receivers down. And so Juju went and found him on another offensive play and cleaned his clock. Like Juju's strong, man. So that's one
mhm.
thing. Say on a block, man, just knocked him over. And this is like this big old tough linebacker, and he nailed him. That was one of my favorite plays I saw from Juju. Do you know what I'm talking about though? There was this
Yeah, I know
guy.
what
He's
you're
not
talking
in the
about.
league
Yeah,
anymore, but he kept getting penalized for dirty hits,
yeah, and he
like
walked over him. He stood
helmet to
over him.
helmet. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Juju blasted him, knocked his block off.
So, are you surprised that the first four picks now, all quarterbacks? Is that what you
No,
saw?
it's what I
What you
expected.
expected? Mm,
Yep, yep.
like
This
you
is
were.
where we can start getting creative because
Mm-hmm,
will the Giants or Minnesota try and come up to four with Arizona and try and get JJ McCarthy? So at this point, you're now in JJ McCarthy territory. I do think it's rich because his rank is like early on in the process. He was in the 20s, and the past month or so, he shot up to top 10. So there's just a lot of momentum that he had, but like early big boards after the season was over, he was 20, 25, sometimes second round, and
mm,
he shot up the board. So we'll see. We'll see here. We'll see what'll happen. Tonga and Big P want to see Marvin Harrison Jr.
mm-hmm,
Marvin Harrison Jr. is the consensus number one wide receiver, son of Marvin Harrison, who played
mm-hmm,
for the Colts,
mm-hmm.
Super Bowl champion.
The pick is in. Pick is in.
Let's see who it is. I don't think you can pass Marvin Harrison Jr. I just don't think you can here.
Yeah.
The only way, if the Vikings give him two first rounders, I could see the Cardinals doing this. If for pick 11 and pick 23, I could see them doing it, but they have a need at wide receiver. I just don't see you coming off that.
Hmm. First three picks, all quarterbacks. Fourth pick is in. Let's see.
No trade.
No trade.
It's Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's
Got
go.
him.
Let's go.
Got him.
Congrats, Tonga and Big P. Let's go.
Sheesh. Marvin Harrison Jr. Head coach is there. Nice. All right. Good. Congratulations, all you Arizona Cardinal fans. Congrats, P. Congrats, Donga.
It's interesting because a lot of the pre-draft talk was trades, trades, trades. No trades so far.
Mm,
It's all been noise.
yeah. Yeah. These teams know who they want. These guys know who they need.
But I do think it's in the Patriots and Arizona Cardinals to start spreading those rumors because just to see if somebody would be crazy enough like Carolina was to trade with the Bears and give them really like a bounty of picks. Because the reality of it is, I mean, sometimes at some point you have to stand pat and pick, right? But the more picks you have, the better chance you have to land your guys. So that would be the goal, more picks, in most scenarios. So there's going to be a certain point, again, a certain point at where the value, like the Patriots at 3, Drake May is worth more than if that's their guy. If they think Drake May is a combination between Herbert and remind me the quarterback of the Bills again. The name is escaping me at the moment.
Allen.
Um,
Allen.
yeah, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So that's the talk. He's kind of he needs some work. He really needs a lot of work on his footwork, but the ceiling is it's as good as those guys, if not better. So that's the he's got crazy potential. Could he fail? Of course,
Mm-hmm.
if he can't
Oh.
figure out his footwork.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like if that's your guy, then how many first round picks? There's going to be like you'd have to have like 5 first round picks to come off your guy if you think your guy is going to be that good, right? So that's why like at 3 you just got to instead of trading down, you just got to take your guy because it's not worth 2 first round picks if you think Drake May is your
Mm.
quarterback of the next 10 to 15 years. Chargers on the clock.
There you go. Marvin Harrison Jr. led the Big Ten in receptions, man.
Yep.
Two-time Riker Howard Big Ten wide receiver of the year. That's why his catch radius is ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah. We got real
Wow.
long arms for his body.
Wow.
Right. He literally so 6'3". He was listed at 6'4" when he was playing for him. 210 pounds,
Oh yeah.
4.4 speed. Like the guy's got everything. Can real technician of a route runner, so he can
Mm-hmm.
run every route. Of course, you can tell he's been the way he runs routes, the way he's professional, the way he prepares, the way he practices. He had a really good example in his dad. Coming from the NFL bloodlines, there he's bigger than his dad. Great hands, like they're saying, a big target to throw to.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it's like a no-brainer at pick 4.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to the Cardinals fans.
Yeah, congrats, guys. Chargers, man. Pick number 5. They're on the clock.
So Joe Alt is my pick for them if they don't
Okay.
trade out.
Who's Joe
They
O, Jake?
definitely Joe Alt is the number 1 rated pick in a long time at offensive at left tackle position. Played left tackle, uh, really agile left tackle. Plays well with his hands. Uh, is it could put on a little bit of weight, but just a real athletic guy. Doesn't blow your mind on film from what what I was listening to with the scouts, then some of the little stuff that I was watching. But he just there's guys like JPJ, right, that just blow people up, and you can see it like he kind of comes off the tape as crazy. Joe Alt is just solid. So
Mm.
he gets locked on guys, they don't move off him, but he's not like running over people. He's not that kind of a guy, but just
Mm-hmm.
his technique is on point. He's got a really good anchor. He has
Mm.
very little critique of his style. He can get he can get a little top heavy at times, but
Mm-hmm.
he tends to recover off of that. So when I say top heavy, sometimes he'll lean forward too much, which can allow you to get rocked back. But that critique was like he has an ability to recover off of that against a physical pass rush from a defensive tackle or DN. So he is by far the top prospect at left tackle. So I do see him going there. It's a big need for the Chargers as well to protect Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert got hurt last year, which
Mm-hmm.
was this was a really good team the year prior, 2022. So I definitely see, Harbaugh. This is kind of his MO, right? Is have
Mm-hmm.
a good, strong, tough offensive line, Joe Alt is the best tackle in this draft by
Mm,
all big boards. So um, at least the ones that I saw. So I see him going here at number 5.
nice. And I missed the school he's from.
So Joe Alt's from Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Fighting Irish kid coming up. All right, nice. Very cool. Yeah, that was a huge pick for the Chargers to get Harbaugh like that, like how he did. I think they're going to have a pretty good season, given the fact that Harbaugh, how he coaches and
Right.
personnel, and then, and the talent that he has already there, be able to like coaches like Jim Harbaugh and Andy Reid. They do a good job at like Bill, the OG goat Bill. Um,
Right.
they do a good
Keep an
job
eye
of.
out for a trade here too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, because Vikes like JJ McCarthy. The Giants
Mm,
like JJ McCarthy. So the Giants
mm.
pick next. So just look out for Vikings coming into leapfrog here.
Pick is in. Pick is in for the Chargers. Here we
If
go.
the pick is in, then I'm saying so it's either Malik Neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
the wide receiver, or it's Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm.
No trade for the Chargers.
No trades. Yeah, because the Chargers got rid of Keenan Allen, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so they need a weapon.
And Mike Williams, man. And
Oh,
Mike
that's
Williams. So
right. That's right.
they really need wide receivers. So Joe Alt is just a monster. It's going to be tough. Neighbors would be a really good pick here too. Neighbors was one of the big reasons why Jaden Daniels played so well at LSU last year. Super athletic, fast guy, can run every route. A little raw in terms of technique compared to Marvin Harrison Jr. of his route running tree, but just athletically blows past people. He's got 4.3 speed.
Mm,
Pick is in.
yep.
Offensive tackle.
They go with the tackle.
Joe Alt.
You
Yep.
called it.
Let's go.
You called it.
Let's go.
That's what's up, Jake. So they need yep, like you were saying, they need to protect Herbert, man.
Yeah.
It
So
looks
so
like
the Scouts have been doing like the analytics is kind of come into a big play of late in terms of what's being shared with the beat writers, and then
mm-hmm,
the beat writers share that with us, right? So as a fan, we're having access to more analytics and knowledge than we have in the past. So Joe Alt, there's a scale. It's kind of like the crazy hot scale that you've seen for like
mm-hmm,
girls and right. So there's the play tape and athleticism scale that is run there. And if you have great play tape and it matches the athleticism, Joe Alt was one of the higher when you measure those categories of the amount of time that he played, versus also his athleticism. When I say athleticism, they're looking at his broad jump, his vertical leap. They're looking at his arm length. They're looking at all those things, and so he's your if you could create in a lab the athleticism with the size, with the
mm.
arm length, like he's right there.
Oh wow. Very nice.
Let's see what Bill says about him.
Yeah, look, he looks what, he's 6'8", Joe Alt? Wow.
Yeah, yeah, a little taller than your prototypical left tackle, but
Wow. Well, he looks
yeah,
hella
Bill's
young.
saying he's premier left tackle.
Oh, he just hugged his girlfriend, looks like his mommy, and looks like he's about to give daps to his pops. Looks like they had a little Joe Alt up in Delwood, Minnesota. They did a little NFL draft party for my dude. That's what's up. Congrats, LA Chargers. Look at Jim Harbaugh. There you go. So I bet you a lot of Chargers fans wanted neighbors, wanted a weapon since they got rid of Allen, but
Yeah, with it being a deeper wide receiver draft, though, there's going to be a lot of good talent at the top of the second round. So depending on what happens with Adonai Mitchell from Texas, who also runs 4.3 speed, true X receiver. So he'll be up there. But good route runner. Um, he'll be up there. Xavier Legette from South Carolina, who is like an AJ Brown athletic freak. Uh, just like amazing with the ball in his hands, can return kicks too. So he's somebody to keep an eye on up there. Um, another one to keep an eye on is The kid that played with Georgia.
Mm.
Give me one
Receiver?
second. Lad McConkey. Yeah, so
Mm.
Lad McConkey, he's also got 4.3 speed, shorter guy, but can run all the whole route tree and in and out of like really good 3 cone speed. So he can cut on a dime. People are going to look at him and kind of think like Wes Welker type of comparisons with what he brings to the table. It's just like, so if he is going to be, this guy can run outside the numbers too with the kind of speed that he has, but depends how teams look at him with him being a little smaller. Is because I think he's 180 pounds, 190 pounds, and 6 feet or just under that, I believe. So he's going to be a little bit smaller. So he's going to be viewed as a slot only. Then that might devalue him a little bit. But he's end of first round, early first round. Another one to look at is Keon Coleman. That might be a great pickup for them there because Keon Coleman is like super athletic guy, also returns punts. Uh, Not the fastest straight line speed, but got fast game speed because he ran a 4.640, which wasn't great. At his pro day, I think he got a 4.5. At
Mm.
the combine, it was a 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
So that not the greatest speed at X, but then when you put on the game tape, he flies. So it's just kind of good to watch the film there and see his highlights. But he's another one, Keon Coleman um, from Florida State. That's another one to keep an eye on in second round. Giants pick is in.
Pick is in.
Malik Neighbors.
They took Neighbors.
Yes.
Oh,
They needed wide
dang.
receiver, right? So this what it tells you now is, man, unless some sort of crazy trade happens, that they're buying in on Daniel Jones, right?
Mm.
Now, the argument for Daniel Jones is he hasn't had great weapons. They've had a
Mm-hmm.
poor offensive line at the Giants, and they
Mm-hmm.
haven't had that go-to wide receiver. So some people were saying that Neighbors was better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm.
They were the minority, but enough people were saying it where it was something to be looked at. Like this guy is inside outside. Some of the things I had, which who knows, it was just smoke, but there was a little bit of rumors going around that he's harder to coach. I don't know if that was fake or not, but probably a guy that believes himself in himself a lot because his game backs it up. Not all those guys are just complacent. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that guy has an opinion, I don't hold that against him. But these guys are coming out with NIL stuff. These guys are coming out with money, but this guy is hungry to play. And again,
Mm-hmm.
he was one of the big reasons why Jaden Daniels was
Did so
drafted
well.
so high because he
Mm.
caught everything that he threw his way.
Wow. There you go.
Congrats, congrats to the Giants.
Congrats, Giants. Would you say that most NFL drafts have been heavy offensive selections, like
Not much,
receivers? No,
not most, but like of late,
of late.
yes, there is a reason why, and you're going to see. So the 7-on-7
Yeah.
program. So
Right.
and to a greater extent, you're going to start seeing D tackle and O line be heavy on the front of drafts because of this, right? Because these guys are coming out more polished because they're
Mm.
starting earlier with better coaching, with getting coaches like Will,
Right.
like coach to show them from the wide receiver perspective, and then they're getting such great technique route running experience early on in their in their high school days and then on into college. And so again, they're just coming better prepared to college, thus they're coming better prepared to the NFL. And so you're seeing some top heavy drafts with wide receivers because they are better prepared.
Mm.
And that is a direct result of 7-on-7s, of elite coaching programs that are out there like OFA.
Right.
Now, OFA is O line, D line, but I'm just giving you an example of that getting elite, getting that top end coaching early on can make a huge difference in a positional group like it is doing for wide receivers. And I do think we'll start to see more and more of this, specifically at the O line, D line positions too.
Yeah, and also the gameplay switched up a lot too for the NFL. Seems
Yeah,
more passive, more pass laden. Think I might have lost you, Jake.
yeah. My
While Jake,
screen's frozen. You might be able to hear me.
yeah, I can still hear you. Yep. Screen is frozen, but yeah.
We'll see if it
So
recovers.
no worries. So Yeah, they're just watching Malik Neighbors give his showing out his gear that he's wearing, his coat. So he's being interviewed now. Look, I didn't know Malik Neighbors. They're saying that he broke all the records over there at LSU.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now he's lucky. He had another guy next to him that was a burner that's going to go in the first round as well, Brian Thomas Jr. So
Hmm.
they have two first round wide receivers that are going to go in
Wow.
this draft. Um,
Jeez.
so Brian Thomas Jr. is just a little bit taller
Hmm.
and a little faster than Neighbors, believe it or not, but doesn't have quite the route tree. So he's
Hmm.
more as a true X. Neighbors can play every position. He can play slot, he can play outside, he can play Z. Neighbors can play anything. Brian Thomas Jr., at least right now, is more of, you know, push the push to the secondary, get behind the numbers, outside the numbers, be that burner guy that spreads the defense a little bit. And he's a guy that can create holes for you in the middle of the field by bringing some of the defensive backs out there with him. There we go. Got my video back.
What's up, Jake?
So Titans on the clock.
And pick number 7.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's see where
Nice.
they go. Now the Titans is
What is their
a little
need?
bit of a little bit of a mystery here.
Hmm. It looks like their pick is in as well. That means pick 8, Falcons. They're on the clock. Falcons are on the
Think
clock.
think the Falcons are going to go defense, but the Titans might go defense or tackle here.
Hmm.
So we'll see. I'm a little bit unsure of what they're actually going to do,
Mm.
but just think the top players on the board. There's still Roma Dunze, really elite wide receiver, is on the board right now. Um, Roma Dunze, a lot of people are saying he's as good as Neighbors.
Mm.
He's out of Washington, so he came from Michael Penix, and that they made it to national championship. So they played really, really well against Texas in the semifinals. That team, that core team, there's going to be a lot of players in the first 2 rounds coming from that Washington program.
Mhm. Very interesting. Man, what you ever thought about being like a NFL scout maybe? Jay, get into that?
It'd definitely be fun. You just be traveling all over the place to get in a program
Mhm.
like that. You're going to be on the road.
Yeah. I know this guy, a good friend of mine, he's an NFL scout. I don't usually hit him up, but every time once in a while I just, check in with my man. He used to be an NFL scout for uh the Patriots, NFL scout for the Dolphins, then the
Oh yeah.
Chiefs. Yeah. And now he's with the Raiders, I believe. With the Raiders right now. So
So tackle, edge, and corner are the
yep.
number one needs for the
Tennessee
Titans right now.
Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have the top tackles on the board. We're starting to get into, Fashanu, who is also left tackle out of Penn. We're talking about Taliese Fuaga.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
Yeah, I think they say it like
um,
that.
and then there's Troy Fautanu. Those are your top tackles. Maybe JC Latham at Bama, but I think he's going to drop. I think he has got big bust potential out of Bama. Is Latham's just a giant human being and not real athletic, but pretty strong. So we'll see. But I do think potentially Fuaga, you could see Latu or Jared Verse go to them as well. But they may be taking Fashanu because he is like a pure left tackle. He's the top tackle on the board still. And he's built like so. Joe Alt was kind of built like a little like he's not thin, right? But he was just
Hmm.
like he's a leaner offensive tackle, not your like big boy, right? So now real tall, still still built really well, but Fashanu's got that thick lower body that a
Mm.
lot of them really like and can't be moved off his spot. Still pretty agile though. Could get stronger with his upper body, but his lower body is like what scouts really like to see in a left tackle. So you might
Mm.
see Fashanu from Penn State, left tackle. You may see him go there, or Jared Verse or Latu at this pick.
Mm. Super interesting. Let's see who they get. 7th overall
Talking
pick.
They're talking about Latham right now. They're showing some highlights on Latham. He was a beast and strong. This is the guy I think that has some bust potential though, but strong as all get out. So there's some questions about this guy's like he takes some
Yep.
plays off,
Mm-hmm.
but when he's plays hard, he's like unstoppable.
Mm.
But it's like so the question is, does this guy love the game or does he
Mm.
just play the game for the money, right? Or does he play the game because he's supposed to? But does he have the fire burning inside? That's the question that they had about JC Latham.
Mm. Seems like a big dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's like somewhere between 340 and 360.
Jeez.
Yeah. Trying to see if I
2023
can.
second team AP All American. First team 2023 All SEC.
Yeah.
SEC.
Right tackle.
Right
Again, this is
tackle.
going to be, unless you have a left handed quarterback, right? That right tackle is still high value. And this is the interesting thing. Like most teams this year have
Mm-hmm.
tackle as a need. It's just
Mm.
interesting to see that the quality of the tackles in the league is viewed as such. We had some great ones retire or at the end of their careers. So you're seeing a lot of teams. So really, tackle is a huge need in general at the NFL level right now. Another like I think huge benefit for coach as he gets his players ready and they start coming up, more and more because he's been doing OFA for what 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
As he gets more and more players coming out of that program, and there's more programs like that, although none of them are going to be quite as good as OFA, but in my
Right.
humble opinion.
Yeah,
But as he has
absolutely.
more guys coming out, that that you're just going to see that as a huge positional need because again, most teams have tackle as a need on their board this year.
Yeah, well, we see it first the number 5 pick and number 7 pick tackles, man. There you go.
Oh, who did they pick? I missed the pick.
Latham, they got Latham. Tennessee,
Oh,
they
they
got
did
him.
pick Latham.
They
Oh,
got him.
okay.
Yeah. They went with your pick, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. They went right tackle.
Yeah. Jake, you've been spot on so far. You've done an immaculate job of your research and preparation for the draft so far. You haven't been wrong at all, man.
I mean that I haven't I've been saying multiple players, so if I had picked just one, then maybe you'd go hold me down to that. I think I picked four players for that one.
Hey, you got one of them, man. You got the
Yeah,
names in there
I do think the Falcons take Jared Verse here.
at number 8.
Yeah, top defensive end, top
Hmm.
edge rusher with no medical concerns.
There you
Latu
go.
is ranked by some higher, but with the medical concerns, you just might
Yeah.
see him drop down the board a little bit. So I do have them picking Jared Verse here.
Mm. All right. Looks like the Falcons pick is in. The Bears are on the clock now.
Ooh, let's go.
Bears are on the clock. I think this is going to be the first trade. I think they're going to trade down.
First trade, maybe. See who
Yeah.
would come up. So JJ McCarthy's still on the board. Are you going to see somebody try and come up for him now?
Oh, there. If I know polls, well, from what I know of Poles, our general manager Ryan Poles, he has that dude likes to wheel and deal. Obviously,
My
getting the
my
first
hesit
pick.
my hesitation for you guys to leave is
Hmm.
that Roma Dudze still on the board.
What's that?
Is that Roma Dudze from
Hmm.
Washington is on the
Um.
board wide receiver.
Yeah.
He is like as good as neighbors or right there.
Really. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That kid.
That was
Yeah. Yeah.
Penix's main weapon.
That his main.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Thrower. Yeah.
no off field concerns, super polished, well spoken, hardworking, super fast, like everything that you want in a wide receiver.
Do you think? Do you think they go with Penix, Atlanta? They need a quarterback, don't they?
They do. I do think it's too early for Penix, but we'll see what happens. There's a very good Atlanta needs a quarterback, even though they've invested a ton in Kirk Cousins.
Mm.
At least that's what they've said, but they don't align. Like you don't spend 100 whatever million they did on Kirk Cousins and then also draft in the top 10 a quarterback, in my opinion. So I don't think
Mm.
that's smart. If he's there for them in the second round, I think they'll take him. But if they stay put, I think they're taking edge rusher.
Edge rusher, huh?
Yeah, Verse is my number one pick for them, or Latu, but I think they take Verse here.
Mm. Well, their pick is in at number 8. And let's see what their coach Raheem Morris is
Yeah.
about
First
to
real
do.
surprise for me was JC Latham because he was ranked
Uh,
around 15, 16, 17. So he was
oh,
picked a little early, in my opinion, even though I had him kind of in range. But that was the first surprise for me for them to pick him. But I shouldn't have been surprised because I think it's like 6'6", 340, right?
mm.
So the terminology they like
Here we
using
go
for
with the
this
pick.
guys is like the first off the bus guys.
Atlanta
So I shouldn't have been
Falcons.
surprised the Chargers went. Let's who do
They
they take?
choose
Let's see.
Penix.
Oh, they what?
They got him.
Oh my gosh. That's a big surprise. Oh my
Now
gosh. That's the first mind blown right there.
they got him. They're cutting to his house party in St. Petersburg, Florida. He's
See, this
wearing
is
a.
as an organization, can you pull up what was the deal that Kirk Cousins got from them?
Let me see. They got the barnyard and the acreage. They got all the sheep and cattle. That was a huge deal. It says here. Let me see.
180 million, 100
Yes.
million. So see
Dang.
as a that's poor. And even though you get Michael Penix at so he's first rounder, so you get him with a fifth year option at like much lower cost, right? But
Mm.
that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that's smart business that you got Kirk Cousins. If you knew you were going to have like Penix was going to be there on the board at 8, like to me that's too rich. Like unless they want to sit Penix for a couple years and that's their goal is they're going to do that type of a thing. But to me, Penix is like he's the oldest QB in the draft.
How old is he?
At least in the out of the top ones, I think he's
Oh.
24, 25.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
so out of the QBs, he's older, so he's ready to go. Like in my eyes, he's the most pro ready
Oh, wow.
out of all the quarterbacks in the draft. There was a little bit of medical concerns with his, him blowing out both of his knees 2 years ago, but the medicals came back good. So just to take him at 8, I don't know. I'm not on board with that as a good decision. But I understand why because this dude is a real pretty thrower. So yeah, Bill's saying the same thing. A little high for
A little high for him.
yeah. Unless they have their own intel though, so it's just like maybe they thought somebody else would come up, maybe a Denver or somebody else, but interesting. So and again, this is what we thought when we were talking pre the draft starting. Notice as you're having a run on these quarterbacks, so guys like Roma Dunze are still available on the board. He's like the fifth, sixth rated prospect on a lot of people's boards. We're sitting at pick number 9
Yeah.
now, where you're starting to get some great value. So Brock Bowers is still on the board, best tight end in the class. So I could see, man, Chicago has some options here if they don't trade down. I have them, man. And Chicago has edge rusher as a need, and
Yeah. We
the
need him.
top two. You have the top two edge rushers. You have Latu and Verse. You have Fuaga, which he can play pretty. The interesting thing about Fuaga, he play every position on the line. He can play right tackle, left tackle, maybe not center, but right guard, left guard. He could play anything. So that's the interesting. You've got Fuaga's option, which I think would be a great pick. You've got Roma Dunze, who would be your true number one receiver. Allow DJ Moore to be that Z receiver or a big slot,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just be able to ball out with that on there, or take Brock Bowers where you can dominate the middle of the field with this guy, true real athlete. So Chicago's got a bunch of options here.
Looks like the pick
Roma
is in.
Dunze, let's
Oh my
go,
gosh.
let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Congrats, Notice.
Malo,
That's a good
malo.
pick.
Thank you. That is a good pick.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Lute.
Love you, Jake. Take care.
Ofatu.
Wow.
You guys are going to be exciting next year, bro.
Dude, I hope.
That shows you they're really counting on Sweat to be the dominant number one rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Having two dominant guys on each side would be a little rich considering that your other needs, I think. And there are some other good edge rushers later on in the second round,
Wow.
but that's great value at pick 9. Interesting thing so far, no trades.
Yeah.
Everybody's standing pat. I do find that interesting.
Wow. Doing a little live tweet now.
So still on the board, JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy on the board right now. The Jets are picking. They're not going to pick quarterback, in my opinion. The Jets are going to take. They do need offensive line, but I do think wide receiver and tight end are their biggest needs. Oh, Jets trade with the Vikings. Okay, our first trade. Speaking of trades,
First trade of the day.
so Minnie's coming up probably to take either JJ McCarthy or JJ McCarthy or no, I think it's got to be JJ McCarthy. I don't see him coming up to take. I don't see him coming up to take Bo Nix.
Wow.
So I believe with them coming up like this, they're taking JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy has, I believe, some former coaches that he knows on the Vikings as well.
Okay.
And you have the head coach who is known to be a quarterback whisperer. Should get a lot out of JJ McCarthy. I do think that is the pick here with them coming up and being. They got Justin Jefferson. They have a really good team. At least they think they do. Seems like they do have a good team. With Kirk Cousins, leaving a relatively good roster in place there as he went down to the Falcons. I do see that's why they trade up is to take JJ McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan. Okay, so pick 10 and 203, and the Jets get 11, 129, and 50 and 157.
Wow.
So 203, what's that? A fourth rounder? So one and a fourth rounder to come up. They came up one pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wonder if they see. I don't. Why did they come? Why did they trade with the Jets here? I don't understand why they make that trade because I don't think the Jets. And so unless if they think so, that maybe it's for Brock Bowers then. That doesn't make sense to me. But why would the Jets didn't have QB as their big need? So I'm kind of fascinated why. Wait, which one did they trade? Did they trade their 20 rounder? We have
The
to know
Jets
that.
moved down.
Yeah, the Jets moved down, but Minnie moved up. But Minnie had the pick 11.
It says
they
the
take-
Jets receive 11th overall pick, 4th round pick. Wow.
So the Jets are only moving back one, right?
Yeah. One down.
Oh, and the Vikings have selected JJ McCarthy.
They got him.
Yeah, I was right
Wow.
on that one.
You got it, Jake.
I just don't understand why they didn't sit pat. Like that doesn't make sense because I don't think the Jets were. Maybe I'm missing something of this, but I just didn't see QB as a need for the Jets.
Who do they have right now?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's tackle or tight end. I think the biggest need on the Jets right now is tight end. I don't think you pass up Brock Bowers at this point. So I think Brock Bowers goes to the Jets here, tight end from Georgia. Meanwhile, JJ McCarthy gets the throw to Justin Jefferson,
Jeez.
probably the best receiver in the game right now. So as a recap, just a couple of the big surprises. I think JC Latham in the mock draft world went a little early at 5 to the Chargers. It does make sense with how the new coach there likes to have huge offensive lines that dominate. That's what he did at Michigan. So it does make sense what he did, but that was a little bit of a surprise to me. And then the other real big surprise was the Atlanta Falcons taking Penix at 8, wide receiver from Washington, quarterback from Washington. And dude, Penix is like a sweet. He's like Tua with his accuracy, but just like he's taller, more athletic than Tua.
Man, this is exciting. I'm getting all these different texts from all my Green Bay Packer fans.
What's everybody saying?
They're just talking crap.
I don't see how they can talk crap about your picks.
I know.
What are they trying to say? Rum Dude sucks. He doesn't. Freaking baller. And then Caleb Williams, like the number one thing you got to get right is quarterback. And it from this perspective, early in the draft, like he looks like a can't miss prospect.
Who's that?
Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't pass that dude up.
Like, dude, you guys having two of the top picks. Like right now, the Bears are winning the draft. I know you don't win the draft. You don't know you win the draft until you get into the season, but
Yeah.
right now the Bears are winning the draft.
Man, I just hope they all mesh together. I hope they get
Yeah.
put them in positions. I hope the coaches are right in their heads. Because these dudes have all the talent in the world. The top elite athletes. But if if the coaches can't coach them up, man, it's I don't
What
know.
do you think of your new coaching staff?
I don't like them. I don't like our coach. Actually, he's a defensive minded dude, but like our
Yeah,
defense
that's
was like
tough.
last in the NFL last year and everything.
Who's the OC?
It's a new guy. What's his name? I lost track of who our OC is
Where did he
and our
come from?
DC. He came from, I believe he came from the Bills.
Okay. Okay, Josh Allen. Then that's good. That's good because their offense was really, really good. So
Yeah,
I do like that. I do like that then.
we got our first group presentation or pick for the Vikings selection. The Vikings already picked, right? They got
Yeah, JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
little,
Which I don't understand the trade up there, but I don't understand because I don't think the Jets were taking quarterback. Why go up one and lose your
yeah.
fourth rounder? I don't get that. But maybe they worried. Maybe the Jets told them they were going to take that unless they got a trade. Like I don't know, but I see the Jets again either taking Fuaga here or um Fuaga Fautanu. But I do think because they took the left tackle from the Cowboys, the Pro Bowler. He wasn't very healthy last year, but he's getting on his. But they did pick him up in free agency, so they do think it frees them up at least this year to draft the tight end with Bowers. So I do think that's my choice. I think they take Brock Bowers.
Shane Waldron. That's right.
That's your OC.
That's our OC. That's
I
Seattle.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't have known the name.
Yeah, he's with Seattle for a minute. These Green Bay Packers. I don't. Biggest fear for us is that we do all this stacking all these players and everything, but we don't have the coaching to
Yeah,
coach them up.
I mean we're in new territory too because we have all new coaches
Yeah.
at the Patriots.
Okay.
Either guys stepping up a level or recruiting in.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Van Pelt that we took from Cleveland. He was the offensive coordinator over at Cleveland, the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So we signed him this year. And then Gerard Mayo was our defensive coach. He moved up. So we've got new staff on our side too. So we'll see how that goes. I'm happy with Drake May though. I like the pick.
So how many quarterbacks is that now?
Yeah, you should be like, hey, what happened to Aaron Jones? Then you're Green
Yeah.
Bay. How come he's over at Minnesota? Yeah, so the left tackle that they signed was the perennial Pro Bowler Tyron Smith from the Dallas Cowboys, and he just didn't. The Cowboys didn't re-sign him. He's 30 something years old now, but they went over there and jumped on the bed because that Jets team is really good defensively. All they need is that they need some offensive leadership, but they have an Aaron Rodgers. He's obviously an elite quarterback coming off of his Achilles tear. He almost came back last season before the end of the season on that though. So we'll see how he does if he's able to play and throw with the same strength that he had before. Coming off Achilles, I know what that's like. I tore my Achilles when I was 30 years old. So I didn't have NFL treatment. I didn't have the best doctor in the United States do it, but it's a rough one to come back from.
Yeah, the Achilles is that's a brutal injury.
But apparently he was like walking within 3 weeks.
Jeez.
That's like,
There had to been some like
when
stem
you,
cell, probably.
there's been some breakthrough in the type of surgery to reduce the recovery time on it of recent. And I don't know the exact details, but I heard him speak on it a little bit, that there was some breakthroughs in how to repair it better and in a safer way, where you can get back on your feet. Because that's the issue, is when it's traumatized enough where you have to be off your feet longer, you really prolong the recovery the longer you are off your feet. Because it's the ability, it's walking and getting the blood flow there and all that increases that recovery time. But for me, I just couldn't, mine wasn't safe enough to walk on for a while. They do try and put you in a boot. So I don't know if you know that the recovery, the old way of doing it is they repair your Achilles, they tie it tighter than it was, right? And then slowly they put you in a boot with a wedge. So your heel is up in the air. And then every few weeks they lower it so you stretch it out.
Dang.
And that's how you recover. You're in a boot with it slowly being lowered to, which is, not the funnest to go through the lowering part because you're stretching out a really tight tendon.
Yeah. Props to you for getting through that.
So they do end up still taking a tackle, the top tackle on the board, Olu Fashanu from Penn State. So they skip on Brock Bowers, huge need, but looks like Tyron Smith, they are worried about him staying healthy because that was his issue last year with the Cowboys.
Okay.
When he's healthy, top tackle in the league, although again, I'll be up there in his years, right? He's in his 30s. So they take Olu Fashanu, protecting themselves for the future. I think he was just too high on their board to pass him up. They probably didn't think he was going to be there. They probably thought the Chargers were going to take him instead of the JC Latham. But Fashanu, and this guy's got that ideal lower body, like big trunk type of build to him, and real powerful, strong left tackle.
Nice. Congrats, Penn State fans.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Jets
with the top tier tackle.
Yeah, that's great. Great for them. Denver on the clock with pick number 12 coming up.
Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, not mini. Denver will be pick number 12.
Yep.
So you could see, again, with the running quarterbacks, the last top quarterback you had, well, you got two. You got JJ McCarthy just sitting there. And then you have Bo Nix, which a lot of people had Bo Nix going to Denver. But I don't think Denver, if they wait, they don't have a second rounder, right? So I think here it's either JJ McCarthy, trade down and try and get Bo Nix, or take Bo Nix. So
they're probably
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's quarterback here.
For the Denver?
Yeah.
Well, Minnesota Vikings got McCarthy already.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. You're right.
So
yeah.
It'll be Bo Nix.
So I do think Bo Nix or trade down. They don't have a second rounder, because I could see them trying to trade down a little bit and try and get a second rounder here. But we will see. Or if they stand pat and just take. Now let's actually go to Denver's needs here. Quarterback being the number one, but also edge rusher, right? And then interior O-line and then tackle. So keep in mind, we do have Dallas Turner from Alabama. We have Latu. We have Jared Verse all on the board.
Pick is in. As soon as they come back from break, we'll get the pick number 12. Denver. I don't know too many Denver fans. Actually, I do. I know a lot of Denver fans. I don't know how they end up being Denver fans, but which is bizarre. I know the couple Denver fans I know that were actually from Colorado, so they count.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So Denver has picked 12, and then they don't pick till number 76 in the third round.
Oh my gosh. Are you
So I bet
serious?
you they are trying to. Yeah, I bet you they're trying to trade back a little bit here, get some more draft capital. We'll see. We'll see what they do. If nobody
Mm,
gives them anything worth it, of course they're just going to stand pat and pick. And then
they could,
if they do that, it is a little rich for Bo Nix though, because
it is right.
well, yeah, I do think 12 is a little high for him.
So we're done. The Bears are done with their first round picks. Um, we got pick number 75 in round 3 and pick number 122 in round 4. Hopefully we do some.
Yeah, because you don't have a second rounder either, right?
Yeah, no, we don't know. No second rounder.
Yeah. That's why I thought maybe you would try. And I bet you the Bears did, but
Yeah,
a Dunze being there on there, I just think it was too rich to pass up there.
yeah. They've been terrible in the draft. If you look at their drafts from last year and the year before, well, actually, last year wasn't too bad, but the year before all that, man. You think they take Bo Nix, Denver?
I do, but I think they're going to try and go back to 20 first in the 20. Like
Mm,
Bill Belichick was just saying that on the Pat McAfee show there. But I do think they're exploring that. And if they can't, I think they have to because they need a quarterback. I think Zach Wilson's going to cut it.
mm-hmm.
Even though they're going to try and rerun that and see because there's clearly that kid's got talent. He can really throw the ball, but I do think that I think that Bo Nix is who they want. That's who they've got their target on. The interesting thing past that though is Vegas also needs a quarterback as well. So they'd be risking quite a bit trading down past Vegas. Because
Mm-hmm.
Vegas might take him. And now Vegas has some big needs with tackle as well, but we still got lot of really good tackles on the board,
Mm.
namely Fuaga and
Well, they got that.
Fuaga and Fautanu.
Yeah, Fautanu, Washington,
Mm-hmm.
queued up.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. Who did they pick? Jake, who's Denver getting?
it's a tough one. So Dallas Turner's still there, and they do have an edge as a need. So if they stay and pick, maybe they've got somebody like Spencer Rattler in the third round, like a South Carolina QB. Maybe they've got somebody set in their sights there. So if they draft here defense, maybe they go Dallas Turner.
They got Bo Nix. Oh my goodness.
Oh, they take him.
They
Okay,
took him
okay, yeah,
from
well,
Oregon.
little rich, but I'm
That's
not
six.
surprised.
That's 6 quarterbacks in the first round, man.
Yeah,
Six of the
I think
12 picks.
that's
First
it.
12 picks.
But so now what that's done though is the defensive players have super high value because there's guys that normally would have gone in the top 10 that are sitting there because you pushed all these quarterbacks over so on everybody's big board, right? Bo Nix, Penix, they weren't ranked this highly, but
Wow.
because of the positional need, they got pushed up. So you have guys that have top 10 value that are still sitting there right now defensively. So if you have defensive needs, you might see some run on defensive players here. But number one on my board left is Brock Bowers. I think this kid, like normally I know drafting tight end is risky in the first round, but this kid is special. He's like a receiver. Like he's got like Gronk's hands, but he's not quite as big. He's more light on his feet than Gronk, maybe a little faster. But Gronk was like 266.6, right? So it's like we're talking about different. Brock Bowers is 6'3", 6'4", 240, but real fast, great hands.
Isn't what's the name there? Zach Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just traded. They just traded for him.
Hmm. Super interesting. You didn't see that, or you did call that one. Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't think they would take him at 12. I thought they were
Wow.
trying to trade down and take him, but they probably had no takers. Because everybody knew. I bet you these other teams had the intel. They're like, yeah, we're not going to trade with you because we know you're just going to want to trade down and take the same guy. So we think you're just going to take the same guy. So that's probably what those conversations were. But I do think Denver was probably on the phone trying to trade down there, if I had to guess.
Wow. I didn't know Zach Wilson and Bo Nix are the same age.
Yeah, Bo's an older player too, huh?
Yeah. That's the held back game in high school, bro. Stop holding your kids back. Crazy. Congrats, Denver Broncos. That's a good pick for them.
So this is an interesting one now too, because this team, their number one need was quarterback.
Oh yeah.
It's too early for that. So that leaves us corner and wide receiver for these two. So if you're Vegas, but you're looking and so you're seeing Brock Bowers might be the highest player on their board, and they didn't think they were going to have him. It's not a need, but do they just take him because he's the best talent on the board, or do they go corner? There's Terrion Arnold out of Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
baller, and Quinyon Mitchell. So those are your top two corners. Now the knock on Terrion Arnold ran like a 4.5, but was a dog on defense. So the combine didn't really help him because people didn't like seeing that speed from a corner. Quinyon Mitchell is coming out of a smaller school, Toledo, but he ran a 4.3. This
Mm-hmm.
also these are your top two corners. They're ranked like 11 and 12 on the big board that I'm looking at right now.
Man,
So it's
Brock
just
Bowers
interesting
got
to
picked up.
see. Oh, they did pick him.
Yep. Number 13 pick. Vegas takes
Yeah, it wasn't a need, but I think he was too good to pass up. He's just
right
a playmaker, and they do have
playmaker.
wide receiver as a need, and he's kind of like you can make an argument. You could throw him out there. He's a good route runner. You could throw him out there in you could throw him out there and run routes that will open up the middle of the field for you. You can run screens for this guy because he's that fast. So that's a great pick. I think in my eyes, really any team would have benefited from having him. But I think the positional value, even though it wasn't a need, the player ability was just too much at that point.
13th
Brock
overall.
Bowers.
Brock Bowers, man. They got a
Didn't see
dog.
him going there, but I'm not surprised that they don't pass him up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have Saints. Number one need is tackle. Second need is edge, then tight end. So, it is tackle rich at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see them go Fuaga or Fautanu here. Most likely Fuaga. But you also have edge, and Dallas Turner is still there. And again, this is a top 10 player in mostly every draft, sometimes top 5. So do they go positional need at tackle, or do they take the top player on the board, which in my opinion is Turner right now coming out of Alabama?
Who's that out of the Alabama, Jake?
Dallas Turner.
Oh, Turner.
Yeah, top edge rusher on the board.
Oh, Turner and
Then
Latu.
then Latu, then Verse.
Then Burrs. What
Yeah,
about
Verse.
Verse? What about the quarterback situation right now? Who do we have left on the board for quarterbacks that are
You're out to the third round now.
for quarterbacks?
Spencer Rattler, maybe late second round. Now this could change because this kid was like a 5-star recruit before he went to South Carolina. Spencer Rattler went to Oklahoma, but Caleb Williams beat him out there. I don't know if you know
Oh
that. Before
no.
Caleb Williams went over to USC. So then Spencer Rattler left Oklahoma and went over to South Carolina, played over there. So he's ranked 73 on my big board. Probably will get taken before it, but he's viewed as like a third rounder. And again, he might get drafted early because he's the next best quarterback on the board. But I think in the
What's his
second
name?
round, you see
Spencer.
Vegas trying Spencer Rattler.
Mm.
So, but he's all the way down. Like I don't see him happening in the first round. So I see tackle or edge rusher here.
He beat out Caleb Williams beat him out, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Yeah. At Oklahoma. And so Rattler transferred out and went to South Carolina. So tackle or edge? Bigger need is tackle, but
Or okay, tight end.
for the Saints, yeah, bigger need is tackle, but The higher positional value, the higher value player on the board is edge, being Turner from Alabama. So does big board or positional need win out? Last pick, the big board won because the Raiders took Brock Bowers. That wasn't a positional need, but they took him anyways. Big board for the win.
Yeah, it's interesting they went with you know what, they're hating. They're hating on the other teams. They wanted to get rid of the top tight end.
Right.
So they got him.
Do you want to play against a guy like that? Yeah, that's a good question too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we'll figure it out. Like a guy that's this talented, we'll figure it out. I think that's the mindset at that point. Again, he was being mocked at number 5 for a lot of people going to the Chargers. So to get him lower down at, was it 12 or 13? You're on their big board. They probably had him top 5, maybe top 10 on their big board. It's just at that point, they're like, we just can't pass it up. The talent's too rich there.
Yeah.
I do think the pick is Turner, but if it isn't Turner, then I'd say it's Fuaga here.
Wow, they still haven't picked yet. They got 2 minutes left.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're trying to trade out.
They're probably making the trade. Yeah, they're probably doing the trade. Pick number 14, New Orleans Saints is on the clock. Less than a minute to go, or less than 2 minutes.
Turner or Fuaga? Let's see.
All right.
Those are my two.
Their last pick last year was a D tackle. So let's see. 2022, they drafted Chris Olave. Well, here we go.
Baller.
Yeah. Let's see. Out of all these, the pick is in. Out of all these quarterbacks that have been drafted, what, 6 now quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Which one of the 6 starts right away?
Caleb Williams, of course. Jaden
Yep.
Daniels, of course.
Mhm.
Drake May, most likely.
Mhm.
I could see him sitting. I wouldn't be mad if they give him a little time to develop because he does need to work on his footwork. Penix. He's not going to start right away. I don't think he's going to start right away.
Yeah. Is that Cousins?
Yeah, Bo Nix will start right away, in my opinion.
Bo Nix will start, yeah.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's pro ready. Penix, to me, Penix and Nix were the most pro ready. They were the older guys. What you see is what you get type of. It's just the especially for Bo Nix, the thought out there was you already saw the ceiling, so you already knew what the player. Rather than some of these younger guys like Drake May's 21, Jaden Daniels is 21, I believe, as well 22. Caleb Williams is that same age. They've got more to grow, so they're going to get better.
Pick is in for the Saints. Pick is in for the New Orleans Saints. Now we await. Think the Colts pick after them, yeah? Jake, pick 15.
Yep. Colts will be going corner, most likely.
Okay.
We got some great corners. We still have the 2 top corners on the board, but I think it's Fuaga or Turner, edge or tackle here. Like I was saying, we'll see which one they go with.
Fuaga, baby. Who went to Oregon State?
Let's get Fuaga. Yeah, Fuaga went to Oregon State.
Oh, okay.
Fautanu went to Washington.
Oh, okay. You're probably right. It's probably Fuaga here, brother. That was one of their needs, right?
Yep, that was their top need.
Here we go. Got him. Tackle, Oregon State.
Let's go. Fuaga
they cut to
board.
Fuaga.
Let's go.
He's wearing a yellow aloha with some Malay.
Is he Samoan or Tongan?
He's Samoan.
He's one.
Talía Sifuanga. Powerful, nasty, balance. All right, let's go. Oh, he's a right
First,
tackle.
yeah. First, although there was some talk that he's going to be viewed as a guard because of shorter arms, but
Mm,
I could still see him playing right tackle because
okay.
he's got all the tools. He's strong,
Mm-hmm.
got good feet.
Mm-hmm. They're showing his 2024 Senior Bowl one-on-ones right now on the TV.
Yeah.
His family is surrounded by him. He's picked up a NFL hat, put his NFL Saints hat on, starts crying, points to the button. He's crying some tears of joy.
Think about all the effort, all the camps, all the one-on-ones, all the games, the prep, the blood, sweat, tears that he's been through to get here. And chances are his parents were probably first generation, right? So
Yeah,
he's first
yeah,
generation born here.
yeah.
Then think about what this means for his family.
Huge. Had a nice healthy bunch behind him. Cameras rolling on him. That's cool. That's awesome.
Love to see it.
Yeah. Congrats, guys. Congrats, my Uso. Oregon State. All you Oregon State fans. Dariese Waga. So we got tackles, we got quarterbacks, wide receivers going. No defensive players yet here in the first round. What do you think
We should see this pick here be defensive.
coming up 15?
Yeah. It's going to be, I do think, Quinion Mitchell. I think he's going to go above Terrion Arnold just because of the speed. He's got that 4.3 speed with they're kind of looked at equally, in my opinion. So I think it's Quinion Mitchell. Could be Terrion Arnold, but I think regardless, they go corner here.
Mm. Of course, they're going to draft a guy from Alabama first, just because of Alabama. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Corner is their number one need, but then we're looking at edge, or excuse me, go back here. Corner, tight end, safety, then tackle.
Corner, tight end, safety, then
Yeah.
tackle. Okay.
Yeah. And at this position, I do think safety's a little rich this early because I don't, at least on my big board, there aren't any safeties ranked this high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were talking about Arnold right now. It might be Arnold. Looks like the crowd at Detroit is thinning out. Is that Latu, or no Latu? He's still on the board, right?
Yeah.
Top.
He's
Would
still
you
there.
would he be the top edge rusher right now? No.
Were it not for his medicals, I would say yes.
Oh.
So, yeah. So Turner's ranked ahead of him
Oh. Okay.
from Bama. Hi, Lute.
Hi, Jake. Long time.
How's it going?
Good. Your just your brother is a pain in the ass.
We're born that way.
Just your brother. Stop muting me.
You're not muted. Jake said we're born that way.
Oh yeah. It's good to see you, Jake.
Good to see you.
Come ever sometimes.
Soon.
Yeah. Good.
Or maybe he comes Evo over here. Colts still on the clock. I don't think it's a question of if corner. I think it's which corner. And again, going between Quinion Mitchell of Toledo and Arnold from Alabama. I
Alabama.
think we're between those two.
Yeah,
You,
pick his
you,
in.
you,
Wanna go?
right now, for everybody listening, Notice his girlfriend slash wifey is photobombing the podcast.
Oh, silly.
Always an
So
adventure.
annoying.
We born that way. That's what changed.
If I go, pick his in. Colts.
Bill and Pat McAfee are teasing each other over the rivalry between the Pats and the Colts. Oh, they go with Latu.
Oh wow.
They go with the big board. Congratulations to Latu and his family. Let's
Wow.
go. Back to back
Nice.
Polynesians.
Back to back. First defensive player taken off the board.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Real polished, smooth edge rusher.
He's giving daps to his younger brother.
So here's again, big board wins over. So we're just seeing the players are too good to pass up over the positional need, which when you hear GMs talk about running their programs, ideally this is how you succeed in a program is by talented guys. So, but not being beholden to the needs that you have on your team, but by drafting the talent, that drafting according to your board.
I didn't know this dude. He was on his way to being a firefighter. Then he got a
Latu,
second opportunity. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
because he almost it was like a medical. He almost medically retired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it talks about that or it talks about his injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh yeah.
it's either his neck or his back is one of the vertebrae is fused. And that's where he had considered being a firefighter, like what you're talking about there.
Yeah. He did so much in 2 years, man. He just balled out.
Yeah.
It's productive edge rusher in college, man. First Tongan taken off the board. First defensive player taken off the board. First
Let's go, Tongans.
defensive Polynesian player taken off the board. That's what's up. Congrats to that dude. That's a miracle. That's a miracle story right there. That's an amazing story.
Yep. Love to see it.
Going to the Indianapolis Colts. That's what's up. 2023 Lombardi Award winner. That's the nation's top O-line, D-line candidate. Lombardi Award. 2023 Ted Hendricks Award winner. That's the nation's top defensive end.
Yeah. So Bill's talking about him right now too.
Uh-huh.
And he's not just an outside edge rusher. He's lauding him for 3 technique running. So you could use him in a 3-4 because he's 265. So he's weighing enough where he can hold the edge and he's going to run defense.
Mm-hmm.
So while his bigger strength is that, Bill loves the guy that can set the edge. So yeah, Bill loves that type of positional versatility. So it's just interesting that in all the pre-draft stuff, everybody's talking about his pass rush ability, and then you have Bill talking about his 3 technique his run defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congrats, brother. 4's up. 4's up. Awesome. Love to see the Tocos and the Usos win, man.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Yep.
So they
Cue,
bypassed this.
cue the Tokoso song right
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Indianapolis just got a dog edge rusher.
So Bill's talking again about now. So is having a guy like him in a dome team with
Mm,
the crowd noise and somebody with such huge pass rush ability is just an extra win when you have somebody like that on the team.
mm,
And when I say Bill, I mean Bill Belichick for everybody listening.
right.
So let's go on the clock. We still got Turner, and it's interesting, huh? Latu, like I said, Latu without the medicals was probably rated higher. You
Hmm.
still see Turner there. So some people, the medicals were a non-issue to them.
That's
So
awesome.
he was higher ranked. Yeah, interesting. Now Seattle is on the clock, and Seattle's number one need is tackle, then D line, then corner. Really, so you see a lot in play. There's top players on the board are all defensive at the moment. But then you still have Fautanu on the board as well. A little further down, you have a bunch of corners available, a bunch of edge rushers, uh, but you're seeing some defensive players kind of big board wise be up top of the offensive since there's been mostly offensive players taken. 14 of the 16 picks so far have been offensive. We have 2 defensive picks on the board now.
Seahawks are in. Let's see who they pick right after these
That
commercial
was
break.
quick.
Yeah. Once more for Seattle, their biggest biggest need is a
Tackle,
defensive player, tackle,
tackle,
offensive tackle,
offensive tackle. Yeah,
offensive tackle. Okay.
yeah. Offensive tackle first.
Mm-hmm.
D line second, corner third.
Mm.
So, and again, we have so for D line, the top player on the board is Byron Murphy out of Texas. The kid can ball, like a little shorter but super strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're kind of saying I believe he's like 6'1", 6'2" range, and just under 300, but just muscular, swole, super strong. Again, gap penetrating type pass rush D tackle. So he's the number one D tackle on the board. So he's sitting there, ranked a little bit higher on the big board than some of the tackles are. But positional need wise, the tackle is number one, D line number two. If they go offensive tackle, you can see Troy Fautanu, you can see Amarius Mims from Georgia.
Mm.
Those are your top 2 tackles left at this point in the board. A little further down the board, there's still Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, and Jordan Morgan from Arizona. So those more long shots, in my opinion. I think it's Fautanu or Marius Mims. Now, again, big board wise, we still have edge rusher on the board. We have Dallas Turner from Alabama, blue chip prospect. In any other draft, might have been top 5 without all these offensive players
Mm.
still sitting there. Is that too tempting?
What about and then Byron Murphy?
Byron Murphy is sitting. He's number 13 ranked. He's sitting there too. Another blue chip prospect, best D line, just best D tackle on the board. More of a pass rushing specialist than a run stuffer, although he can do both. He's of that new mold, like kind of like that Aussie mold. You know what I mean? Just like athletic, muscular, uh, really good with his pass rush technique. That type of build.
Oh wow. It looks like the pick is in for Seattle for the 16th pick in the first round.
See if they go.
They go
See if they
defense,
go.
huh?
Yeah, let's see if they go defense. I think they go tackle, but do they pass up on Turner on the edge being there, on Byron Murphy still being there because he'll go pretty soon, or do they go based on their need and go tackle with Amarius Mims from Georgia, or do they go Fautanu from Washington?
Mm.
As we come down further down the board, there's just more moving parts, harder to get it right.
Mm. I see. Yeah, man. 15th pick was a defensive player. Now, so let's see, was the 16th pick.
And just from a big board reference, we have two really high ranked corners on the board from Alabama and Toledo. We've got Dallas Turner, like we were talking about. Then we've
Mm-hmm.
got D line Byron Murphy,
Mm-hmm.
pass rushing D tackle. We got Jared Verse on the edge as well. We have Brian Thomas Jr., the second receiver that we were talking about with 4.33 speed. He's 6'3", 6'4", can run 4.33 speed. Is your true X outside receiver baller. He's on the board there too. So from a big board perspective, that's kind of what you're looking at.
Wow.
Talent wise versus your needs that you have in your team.
Interesting. All right. Now the pick is coming in after that military and bombardment special message. All right. Looks like who's making the pick here? Is that Roger? Yep, Roger's walking the podium. All right. The 16th pick. Seattle Seahawks select Byron Murphy.
Ooh, they went D line.
They went D line.
Texas.
Yep.
Yep. He was too strong. I had him kind
Wow.
of penciled in going to Miami Dolphins a little
Uh-huh.
later, but
Okay.
I think that's why they saw how good he was, and they couldn't let him slide anymore. So interesting. Yeah, they go D line. He's a stud.
Okay. Yep. They cut to his draft party and friends and family lined up behind him. That's what's up.
So Jacksonville's on the clock. Top two needs, just going to make it difficult to pin this down, is corner and edge, which again, we've got Dallas Turner, Arnold, Quinion Mitchell. So we have edge, corner, then Jared Verse, edge, all in the top part of the board. So
Mm.
any of those four, I don't see them going outside that.
Do
One
you
of those
see
four.
right? Do you see a lot of now that we've had 14 picks of offensive players, do you see the trend going down towards defensive people now?
Yeah, because
Defensive personnel?
I think that's what you're seeing now, is because in a normal draft these guys would have been higher. Their positional value on people's boards became so high that they couldn't pass them up. Where some of these teams' needs were tackle, but they're still going after these players because again, their big board value is just too much. The other thing too is a scout or the media's view of a team's needs versus what the team's internal view is. Of course, there's going to be differences there as well, right? So when we look at needs from the outside in, we're not necessarily aligned with what they think.
Mm. Wow.
We're about little over we're about really halfway there. Notice
Yeah.
in the middle of draft pick 17, then we'll start getting towards the end. We'll see Kansas City be our last one, I believe, and
The last
we'll
last
see what
pick.
they go with.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, San Fran would be coach's team, and then Tech and Joe at that last pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Minnesota's pick is in for the pick 17 or yep, pick 17. Let's see who they'll add to the mix.
Minnesota did a trade
They did a trade
with
to the
Jacksonville.
with Jacksonville.
Oh, they must have. So who does Mini come up for? Man, that's a good one. So Mini got QB there.
They they got the edge rusher, Alabama, Dallas Turner.
Okay. Yep.
Vikings select Dallas Turner, Alabama. That was a quick little trade.
Yeah.
So the rest of these picks moving forward will probably be defensive players.
So since he's on the clock now, and again with Dallas Turner going here, you see a team trade up like Minnesota, who had 2 first-round picks to begin with, which is why that you see them draft 2 here. There's a guy on the board that was just so high on their board they couldn't resist trading up to go get him. Because in most drafts, maybe they on their board, maybe they had him top 5, and they're like, we can't believe this guy's still here. That's why you see them trade up and get him there.
Ah,
Uh, so now you have the Bengals on the board, and their top 2 needs are tackle, wide receiver, and then the third one would be corner. Now, uh, interesting thing about the Bengals, right? Like if they draft for need, they do need to protect Joe Burrow here. You know, this is a really talented team, but T. Higgins is tagged this year
oh,
on the franchise tag. So he wants big money, but it's hard. You can't pay big money to 2 receivers. That's the issue. So Apex just came in here. Give me 1 second, Notice. I'll be right
nah.
back.
Yeah, you're good, brother. So we get Dallas Turner from Alabama going at pick number 17. That's
And then maybe
2.
if the pick comes in, maybe Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU, with T.
Okay.
Higgins, if he wants his way out, they might take wide receiver here.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Oh, Bengals pick offensive tackle Mims.
Oh, they go with Mims.
Yeah,
Okay, Georgia. That's more of a right tackle.
right tackle.
Yeah, guy had some injury history. Didn't play a whole lot. I think he only played 11 games last season, but the 11 games he played were that impressive on tape that threw him into the first round. So tackle and wide receiver were their needs there. So excuse me, that leaves Troy Fautanu, the top tackle on the board.
So who's that? Who's next?
The LA Rams,
Hmm.
which their big need here was D tackle, since they're one of the greatest D tackles of all time decided to retire this year.
Yeah.
You know, so D tackle was a big need here, as is edge. And then you also have corner on their needs there as well. If they decide to go D tackle, the best guy left on the board would be Johnny Newton. You might see it listed if you're looking at a big board at Jerzon Newton, but he goes by Johnny Newton. He's another pass rushing specialist, D tackle. Can get after the quarterback, real athletic guy as well. Just along the same similar mold of Byron Murphy there. Just a real good top tier talent. There was some people saying that they saw him moving up into the top 10 and maybe the Giants taking him early on in the draft. So this guy, super talented. If they decide to go D line, in my eyes, that'd be who they would go. If they decide to go edge, you've got Chop Robinson. You've got a couple of guys later on that they could go. Those guys are ranked a little lower on the big board. So, if they stay kind of near the top of their list, again, with corner being a need here, you still have, basically top 10 corner on the board. And again, normally would it be, ranked in that top 5 to 10 if there weren't so many offensive players. Arnold from Alabama and Quinion Mitchell are still on the top end of the big board right now. So you could see them jump to corner and take a corner. Interesting, it's still showing the Bengals on the clock.
Yeah, we're a little delayed at the moment. Yep. Like right now, Goodell is making the announcement for the 18th pick. 6'7", 340 pounds, Amarius Mims from Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. He was on like the Patriots wish list for a guy to fall into the second round so we could take him. A lot of the pundits, the draft guys were hoping that he would fall. Just perfect body type for tackle. Like he was born to play the position. Again, real athletic, strong, great at the position. His biggest knock was amount of games played, but the games he did play were phenomenal. And of course, coming out of Georgia's just had player after player. That program is churning out top first round talent every year now.
Yep. Nice. He's surrounded by his family in Brookhaven, Georgia, showing the fam cam. Him getting selected to the Bengals. That's what's up, man. That's always awesome seeing the home shots, the home view shots of the
Yeah.
people. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Good for Burrow too. Get some protection. Let's see
Yeah.
him compete. Let's see him compete against Kansas City a little bit more.
There you go.
Give
Yeah,
him a little
bro.
bit of time to throw to his talented receivers he has.
Yeah, bro needs some help, man. That's what's up. So the Los Angeles Rams, they're 3 minutes left on their clock, picking number 19.
Again, edge and corner, top two needs.
Edge and corner, top two needs for the Rams. Let's see who they go with. I think this is their first round selection since Sean McVay been a coach.
Yeah, because he traded everything away for what's his name? Who's their quarterback right now? Name is slipping my mind, but yeah, they for a bunch of the trades that they made players, they've given around first rounders for how many seasons? How many seasons has he been coached? 4 seasons.
Yeah, because they didn't have no first round picks in 2023. So this is their first round pick since 2019. The Los Angeles Rams. How much does a coach have their say in picking a new talent, new athlete to join the organization? Is it more of a general manager thing, or is that a coach and a general manager thing?
I think the GM has the final say, and the coach has input all the way up until they make the pick, and the GM makes the pick. And I think there's probably some coaches that have more influence than others, depending on the program and the longevity of the program and how new the GM is and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to it, you got to have one guy make the pick, and usually it's got to be the GM. Traditionally, like that's how it goes. The exception would be Bill. Bill was the GM and the coach, so he would make those. But Bill would make the picks with input from Ernie Adams, who was the in-team consultant, essentially did all things. And then he would, had a ton of input from the scouts. But, at the end of the day, there was only like 3 people in the room when they were making picks. So, it'd be like Scott Pioli or the GM that went over to the Texans. His name is escaping me as well right now, but it would be just a few people.
So as far as edge rushers go, let's say the Rams they're looking for an edge rusher to replace Aaron Donald retiring. Who do you have for
If they
your
go edge,
yeah?
Jared Verse.
Mm,
Jared Verse from Florida State.
he's the top one left, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 16 on the big board that I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And they're drafting there at 19. If they want a true D tackle, they're going to dive down to Johnny Newton. But if they go edge, then in my opinion, the top edge on the board is going to be Jared Verse.
Mm. Yeah, so Jared Verse is a premier player, elite player then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
If
wouldn't.
you remember, Coach was talking about him last month. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Coach was here. Could give him a little bit more in depth. But let's pull up his bio here. Florida State was a really talented team too. There's a bunch of players that are going to go first, second round from them. So
Mm.
let's look at Jared versus
All right.
bio
Looks like
here.
Goodell is ready to give the number 19 pick announcement. Walking to the podium right now. And with the 19th pick, 2024 NFL Draft, Rams select Jared Verse.
Nice. So
You
six
called
four
it.
260.
They got some juice.
Yeah,
Replace Aaron Donald.
it's 9 sacks last year,
Wow.
41 tackles as a D lineman.
Bro, he runs a 4.5 40.
Yep. Yep.
Sheesh.
12 and a half tackles for a loss.
He's almost 300 pounds. Florida State edge rusher. Nice.
Really was again the top edge rusher on the board. A lot of mock drafts had him gone by this point. So I'm sure they feel pretty good about themselves at this point. Taking him, he was probably their top player on their board at that point with the
Mm,
needs that they have.
right.
So not surprised that they take him at all.
Sheesh.
Now we got Pittsburgh on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh has surprise tackle as their on their needs, like so many of these teams do. Top
Mm,
wide receiver, D line. So you could see Brian Thomas Jr. go here, the wide receiver. You could see Troy Faltanu go here, or you could see Johnny Newton, the D line out of Illinois. Those would
mm,
be the three choices I think that they would choose from. It's probably those top three on their board right now.
mm.
Crazy. You still have Terrion Arnold. You have the top two cornerbacks still on. You just still available. Now
Wow.
there's a lot of cornerback need towards the end of the first round, so all those teams are super happy.
Very
But you
cool.
have Jacksonville that's needy for corner. Tampa Bay potentially needs a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit needs a corner. Baltimore needs a corner. So there's at some point we'll see a run on it, but interesting. There's still a lot of talent left on the board. No real crazy surprises other than those two still being available.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken a little break on their side, so
Yeah.
I don't see any. It's kind of like a commercial on the Caffey show over here on this side. What are you seeing on your side?
Oh, yeah, we're in commercial break as well.
Gotcha.
Commercial break over here at NFL Network. Um, I'm gonna grab some water real quick, Jake. I'll be right back.
Okay. And again, we have the Steelers on pick number 20 right now, having their top needs be offensive tackle, wide receiver, D line. If they go offensive tackle on the boards, the top tackles left are Fautanu from Washington, Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, potentially up into Jordan Morgan of Arizona, although I don't see him probably going. There's a lot of people that are high on Jordan Morgan, but at this pick 20, just a little high, I do think, for given that how the board is and with Fautanu and Tyler Guyton being still available. So those are the top tackles, top wide receivers on the board left. Really, you have AD Mitchell. He's out of Texas. You have Xavier Worthy, who ran the low 4.2 40 available. And then, of course, you have Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU on the top of the board available as well. I guess you could say if you took a flyer, Lad McConkey is out there if you were to go with more of a slot receiver type, although Lad can run more than that. He can run more routes than that. So that'd be a little bit more of a wild card. he went with that. But we'll see what the Steelers always they tend to be pretty good drafting wide receivers. So we'll see where they end up here. And we'll check on Twitter to see if there's any intel. Hearing some of the Patriots beat writers and saying, hey, should we trade back into the first round to go get Brian Thomas Jr. here? Would that be a good play with wide receiver being a need here? I really don't see it, but I wouldn't be mad if that happened. We just have so many needs. I think we stand put and see where the board is at pick 34, and we draft wide receiver or tackle there and go from there. And of course, Pats Nation, pretty excited. There are some mixed feelings about it, but Pats Nation debating back and forth on pros and cons of Drake May. And Boston media, of course, is just super. You're going to see a lot of nitpicking go on in that place. They're used to having championships and not used to being bad teams, and so you're going to see some nitpicking go on with Drake May. Again, thinking through Drake May was number one, number two player on everybody's board pre-draft each of the years that he played. He balled out his first year that he played. Second year that he played, in third year he kind of took a little step back compared to his first year. But the Boston media is going to nitpick that. Got a little snack over there, Notice?
Yeah, I had to grab a little snack, a little yogurt, strawberry yogurt.
Yeah, nice.
Looks like the pick is in for the Detroit or the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's see what they go. Do they go tackle? Do they go wide receiver? Let's see what happens. Do they go big board that there's corners that were probably top 10? Let's see what they do. I think they go tackle. I think they go Fatanu. That's my number one pick for them, but let's see what they end up picking here.
Pick number 20. They're doing a Walter Payton, talking about the Walter Payton Man of the Year award right now. Got Cam Hayward on the stage. 2023 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award winner. Doing a little speech right now. Yeah, I think they choose the Uso, man.
Fatanu?
I think they do. I don't know. The guy's still doing his speech, but
I do think
yeah.
so as well.
What's Faltanu's the first name? Troy? Is it
Troy.
Troy?
Yeah, from Washington.
From UW? Oh, let's go Usos. All right. Now he's done with his speech. Hopefully they can announce the winner or the 20th pick. The 20th pick. Steelers choose. You call it, Jake. Troy Faltanu.
Wow. Good for him.
Wow, he's crying on the camera right now. He's surrounded by his looks like his two grandmothers. He's wearing a lay black shirt. He's crying on the phone, talking to someone. Grandma's crying, tearing up next to him. Family sitting in the back. He's taking it all in. That's what's up. They say he's versatile, explosive hips and hands, and he's a big boy. Oh, he's a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. Quick hands, quick feet. Nice. They're showing some of his plays, his film. Troy Fautanu, pick number 20. Offensive tackle, man.
I have to show up on my iPad over here. What link are you watching it on? You said YouTube? There's the YouTube TV.
He won the best outstanding lineman in the Pac-12. Shot of his family in the background there in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's what's up. Man, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Congrats, Uso. Next, we have what? Pick 21, Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dolphins have D-line as one of their big needs. They also need tackle wide receiver. So those are the positions to take a look at with where they are right now. Or you may see somebody trade up to take one of these corners Again, I don't think a lot of teams expected. So maybe Detroit comes up, who has a corner need. I could see that happening. And then they at the end, if I don't think they would have thought that they would have the ability to get the top corner drafting where they drafted, getting so high in the playoffs last year. So I think they're sitting
Yep.
at 28.
Yep. Pick 21 is in. Miami Dolphins pick 21 is in. Just waiting for them to get off the
So D line. So you might see Johnny Newton go here, Jerzon Newton from Illinois. Or, if they reach up a little bit, maybe they go Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma as a tackle. So Bill is thinking Brandon Fisk potentially. That's they're showing some highlight tape on here as an edge rusher, and he's another kid from Florida State. Now, or excuse me, Braden Fisk. He is on the big board, kind of down a little bit more. He's kind of showing in the 40s, so round 2 prospect. Although again, there could be a disconnect between what the media and the scouts from the media see versus what these teams see. So perhaps Bill pointing out this guy might be a little undervalued on some of these big boards that are outside the team's big boards. So he's kind of at 46 on the big board I'm looking at versus Johnny Newton is 26. But you may see them go here as a better fit than what Johnny Newton might be. And again, you may see a trade from Detroit or another cornerback hungry team trying to come up and take one of the top 2 corners on the board here. I'm going to be pissed if they take Brian Thomas Jr. and add to more receiver wealth than they have on that team. But I do think that team needs defense because, Tua's been able to put up points in that offense. It's just their defense doesn't seem to be able to stop anybody. They were in a bunch of shootouts last season, and they were one of the better teams the first, I'd say, 3 quarters of the year, and then they didn't finish well.
They need some defense, man. They still is the cornerback from Alabama he's still up, you said, right?
Yep. Both the top 2 corners, Terrion Arnold and then Quinion Mitchell. Both of those guys are sitting there. That's why I'm thinking maybe we see a trade.
Maybe you see a trade, huh?
Yeah, a trade up because Miami that doesn't have corner as a big need. They've got other and more pressing needs, D-line and tackle. But Bill seemed to think too they're going to go D-line.
Right,
that's why he was bringing up Braden Fisk. So, but I do think maybe they take Johnny Newton here.
All right, here we go.
Dominant D tackle out of Illinois.
Miami Dolphins select Chop Robinson, linebacker.
Oh, pass rusher. Yeah, Penn State. Yep.
Edge rusher. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
There you got him.
Yeah. So not far off on the board, but on my board, he was sitting at 27. So not really a reach there.
There you go.
Interesting.
His fam cam they're in, looks like Gaithersburg, Maryland. All his friends and family. That's what's up. Explosive law. What's up?
Sorry to interrupt there, but we are this is my sleeper pick for JPJ. The Eagles are on the clock.
While
we talk through everything else. So this is kind of the first spot where I could see maybe JPJ goes. So anyways, long shot a little bit because they do have some other needs. But again, with Kelsey retiring and one of the best centers in the history of the league, in my opinion.
Right.
Now JPJ, I think this is where he gets slot in.
Jake. Yeah, he just retired, so this could be his move in.
Yep.
Absolutely correct, Jake. I think this is the pick, man. I think this is the decision for. Wasn't he a bunch of award winners in college?
Oh yeah, he's awarded the best center in the league.
Wow. There's no way they pass him up. and he's still on the board.
Well, it's Philly has corner as a need. So this is the downside, right? With Terry and Arnold and Quinion Mitchell being both there, they have that. They have edge as a need too, and wide receiver has a need. So they have these other needs, but with a player that good in the hit rate on the first round on centers, it's I again sleeper pick, right? Because they do have such a big need at corner and edge, and you've got great corners and edges left available here. But do you go through and replace Jason Kelsey? I certainly would like to see that.
All right, here we go. The pick is in. Pick is in.
Very good chance they go Arnold here, though.
Let's go. Let's go, JPJ. Let's go. Pick is in. Looks like the general manager is still talking to them on the phone. Jason Kelsey and Fletcher, something retired.
Mm,
Two offensive talents for offensive line guys. A lot of these guys, a lot of these analysts are talking about Terry Arnold going Alabama.
yeah, I mean, he's just sitting there. He was a 10th ranked player on the board that I'm looking at.
Hmm.
Um,
And then that Mitchell guy.
yeah, and it may not have, it wasn't even the ranking. It was like where they thought they were going to go, not where their actual big board was. And so I
Mm-hmm.
do think in other drafts he would have been in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are at pick number 22.
Right, 22. Let's go center.
Right.
Let's
Right. And
go, Jake.
I know for people that aren't as invested in, like, if you watch the
Right.
games for the excitement of it,
Yeah.
but it's one in the trenches. So
Hmm.
that's where you give your quarterback time to throw the ball, and you want a guy dominant like JPJ to
Right.
replace a foundational player in Jason Kelsey. I
Right.
do think you don't lose a step when you do this. Of course, but again look at that hit rate of almost 90% on centers
Right.
when you draft them in the first round. So it's just like a can't miss prospect
Wow.
in my eyes.
Right. Let's go. Let's go, man. Pick is in, and we're just waiting for them to walk to the podium.
Exciting to see what happens here.
Yeah, me too. I hope they go JPJ center here. 'Cause, they need a center. One of their
They
most
do.
prolific centers in the game just retired.
Yep. Yep.
Who's gonna snap it to Jalen Hurts, man? He doesn't want no scrub up in there. Let's go. What are they talking about over in Bill with Bill?
They're talking about Quinion Mitchell maybe
Mm,
going there
okay.
just because those two corners are still so high on the big board and they're still available.
Right.
Again, my JPJ is a long shot. It's a sleeper pick for sure. But I'd love to see him go there. I think it'd be a great fit. I do know it's a need, so we'll see what happens there. But
Yeah.
most likely they go corner here.
Okay. Well, it makes sense that they need a center. He is an elite center. All right, Rogers walking up to the podium now. And then the Jaguars, right? They're next after the
Mhm.
Eagles.
And they need corner as well. So
Mhm.
whoever the Eagles don't pick, if it's a corner, then you see the Jags picking the other.
All right. Come on, Goodell. We know you played different games all across the world. He's doing an announcement about playing games in South America. He's talking about the International Pathway Program. Hmm. Come on,
the
dude. What's up, Jake? What's
the
funny?
the McAfee show. They're like, "Geez, Roger, hurry it up. We're waiting for the pick."
I know this guy's gonna read about their international programs and the sheesh. We don't need all that. All right, for real. Jordan Mailata's given the seventh.
That's cool. he just resigned for what, 80 mil? Is that what we
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Something like 60 guaranteed. Oh, here he is.
Quinion Mitchell.
Okay, Quinion Mitchell. Yeah. So why he
Quinion
went
Mitchell.
over Arnold is because of the combine.
Mm.
Terrion ran a 4.3 40, and
Oh.
Arnold. So they're both man corners,
Hmm.
but Arnold ran a 4.5. So he's
Oh.
got game speed, but the people didn't like the straight line speed that they saw there, and so that's why you're seeing, I think, Quinion Mitchell, even though he played at a smaller school, Toledo, that's
Hmm.
why you're seeing him go for number one off the board, the board in terms of corners.
Mm. Okay. Congratulations, Quinion Mitchell. Toledo, baby. Toledo on the map. Most pass breaks up in school history.
Yeah, and so Bill's saying going to need to play man to man against some higher level competition.
Hmm.
Although he did play against some good schools, Illinois, Northern Illinois, um, teams that had some skill. But he said he's going to need to. But why they take him first, I think, is because of the pass breakups and the speed that you see there.
Mm.
So I don't think this is going to be too crazy of a pick. Arnold goes to the Jaguars next.
Hmm.
And probably this is the crazy thing. They probably had this guy top on their board and didn't think they were probably okay getting either of the two corners
Hmm.
after they traded back, and they're probably ecstatic. This one probably going to take like 2 seconds.
Mm.
I bet you they take Arnold right away here.
Mm. How do they determine who goes to the live pick and who stays home? You know anything about that, Jake? How they
Yeah,
choose that?
I think it's like top 35 players get an invite, and a lot of them opted out. I think only 15 players went this year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Brian Thomas Jr. is still on the board, a great receiver.
Really?
Yeah, LSU receiver, 4.33 speed, true X receiver, can just blow by defensive, can really stretch the field for you and open up that middle.
Mm, okay. They're saying that the speed on the tape matches the speed on the records or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. With Terrion Arnold, though, the speed on the field doesn't match how he ran. He plays faster than it showed at the combine, but again, that's where you see he probably would have gone first if he ran a 4.4. Instead, he ran like a 4.51 or something like that, I think.
Mm. What are they saying over there?
And saying like, oh, we knew that pick was going to happen there before the draft.
All right.
All right, here we go. Jacksonville's coming up here shortly.
Pick is in for Jacksonville. Pick number 23. Who's the guy wearing a neck brace? Looks like,
What?
or they're showing this dude wearing a neck brace and some dude with a mustache in the draft room of the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, pick is in. Yeah, you called it, Jake. It's a fast pick. Jaguars are commissioners with the Jaguars selection. First pick.
Yeah, I just think it's a no-brainer for them to go Terrion Arnold here. Came from. Oh, they went wide receiver.
Oh,
Ooh,
LSU.
he's gone. So Brian Thomas Jr. And so not surprised they lost. So they lost. Forget, yeah, 17 touchdowns last season. With Jaden Daniels, and they did lose their top wide receiver who went to the Titans. So it makes sense why they go wide receiver here, given that they just lost their top wide receiver.
Mm.
I'll tell you here in a second. Calvin Ridley, because
Oh,
Patriots were in on bidding, and
yeah.
apparently the girlfriend wanted to be in Tennessee. It was closer to her family, our wife, and our money was close, but that's why he ended up choosing Tennessee. Tennessee has better state tax, so he would have kept more of his money.
Mm.
So, anyways, Calvin Ridley left the Jaguars. He was the number one target down there, and they lost him. So, makes sense why they go get a really good wide receiver that's just a touchdown scoring machine with good speed and good height, good hands as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro, Detroit is happy right now.
Why is that?
They need corner.
Oh.
He's still there, and they might even so. There's another guy, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Mhm.
That's the other. He's also first round projected, so
Mhm.
he's still on the board as well. So you got two Alabama corners here in this draft.
Wow.
That might go. That might go here.
Wow, Brian Thomas can run.
Yeah,
His catch
yeah,
radius is huge too. They're showing
yeah. He's like
some things.
6'3" with the blinding fast speed. His
Wow.
short area speed is fast too. So he just explosive, gets to his top gear fast, stays fast.
Mhm.
4.33. He's almost running. That's he's close to running 4.2s there.
Wow.
So you have Dallas on the board. This is a question mark pick for me because they need tackle, wide receiver, linebacker. Could see AD Mitchell going here from Texas. They do need corner, although it's not the top of their needs. So I could see them taking a corner here, but we'll see. So I say they probably pick either Arnold or AD Mitchell from Texas. So they either go corner or receiver.
Mm.
Off chance they go Tyler Guyton because they do need tackle. So maybe Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. But
Mm.
why I gotta put AD Mitchell up there is because you love to see Texas guys go play in Texas. So they just be going from Austin up to Dallas, 3 hours away. You're already gonna have a huge fan base. So and AD Mitchell is another guy running 4.3 speed. The knocks on him is he doesn't run his routes full speed. He kind of sets up the defensive backs and then sometimes takes plays off when he knows it's not coming to him.
Mhm.
But the physical tools and talent there is, very apparent.
Uh, they're running some draft related commercials over here on the NFL Network. They're showing a commercial of Tua, Tua and his brother.
Mm. Yeah, he's probably going to be a free agent, or maybe we'll get drafted day 3.
Mm.
Because his brother's in this draft from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see where that goes. See where he's projected at. He's projected undrafted free agent. He's ranked 307. That's Talia
Mm-hmm.
Tagovailoa.
Talia
Yeah.
Tagovailoa. There's only what 4 rounds? How many rounds in the draft, Jake? 7?
Yeah. Yeah. We're only doing first round tonight.
Yeah. So just the
Yeah.
first round tonight and 6 more to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow, I believe, is just second round or second round and third round.
Mm-hmm.
And then day 3, Saturday, will be the rest of the rounds.
Mm.
I do think it's just second round tomorrow. Did Joe ever give us his pick?
Mm. No.
So we have Tonga and Big P who wanted them to take Marvin Harrison Jr. They did. Congrats to them. The Tech never chimed in either, huh?
Nah.
So Kansas City's needs, so we can just go ahead with that. They do need wide receiver. So I think they are going to take Xavier Worthy, who ran a 4.21 40 from Texas. So we had a pick
Trade.
come in, huh? Oh, trade.
Trade.
Detroit. Yeah, they're going to take Terrion Arnold. They've got to.
Yeah. You were saying that
They need corner. Yeah. I was saying earlier, I thought they were going to trade, maybe at 20 when Terrion Arnold started to fall. I just think it's too close now. They just can't. They need a good corner. Detroit is close, man. They last year they was the first year they looked really good. They had a good regular season record, made it into the playoffs. they're close to, in their eyes, I think they're close to going deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're saying they were happy because they know they can get a corner now, right? Didn't you say that, Jay?
I think they would have gotten a corner, but is like, are they surprised that this guy is still available? I think they are, considering he was probably, I bet you he was like number 5 on their board, given the needs of what they, the corner is a big need for them. So I wonder what the Cowboys got back. And I do think the Cowboys, if they might take Tyler Guyton, the Cowboys at that spot.
So they traded with the Cowboys.
My Cowboys friends are probably going to be mad, but I do think they think they can get A.D. Mitchell there or Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle.
Mm.
Because I do think they see, this is why they're trading. I do think there's going to be a run on corners right now.
Mm.
Because there's really 4 top-rated corners left right now, and anybody that has safety. So Cooper DeJean is pretty high up on the big board right now, and teams see him as more of a safety than a corner, but he's high up on people's big boards and still available. So I do think we're going to see a run on defensive backs here. Yeah, my money is definitely on Terrion Arnold here. If I was a betting man,
Hmm. Yep, he's still up there. Alabama.
I don't see how it could be anybody else.
Yeah. Their line is pretty good. Quarterback is solid.
Our
Still,
receiver group is good.
yeah.
Mhm.
They need an elite defense. Here you go. Pick is in. Rogers walking out with a bunch of women. Looks like a flag football team. Another presentation by Roger Goodell. Flag Football League on stage with Roger Goodell.
Trying to get girls excited to watch
Yeah.
the games here. And we're like, we just want to hear the draft pick. Dang it. All the Detroit fans.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Making the selection. The Detroit Lions. Ellie Fagley, Michigan girls high school flag football player.
Yeah, it's Arnold.
Terrion Arnold. Yep. Nice.
Let's go.
Call
Detroit
that
is
one,
happy
Jake.
right now.
Right.
Yeah. That one was too easy.
There you go. Called it.
Should have
Baby.
made a bet on that one. Good tackler. Really good in the open field. Not afraid to break up, win the game with a pass breakup with the game on the line.
5 interceptions, 12 pass breakups, career highs. Congratulations, Terrion. Oh, greeting from the hometown. Detroit hometown. That's what's up. Detroit fans rooting for him right now as he embraces Roger Goodell. What a neat moment for him. Probably a longer wait than he thought, right? Probably thought he would go a little bit higher.
Say it again.
You probably thought he'd go a little higher.
Yeah.
Longer wait
Yeah.
than probably thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Top corners don't typically, like the first pick of the top corner in the draft, they don't go at 24. It's such a premium position, and they're so expensive to retain when you have a good corner. So if you can draft a good one in the first round, it saves you money. We have Green Bay on the clock here.
Okay, we can go to commercial now. We can skip that pick altogether.
Where's it? Yeah, the trombone sound
Yeah.
bite there.
Oh, the price is wrong.
Yeah. So Green Bay, why I'm seeing a run on corners, they need interior O line, safety, and corner here. You could see Cooper DeJean go to them because he can play corner and he is kind of picked to play that safety role. Freaking Mad Mel is going crazy over here. Mad Mel losing his mind over here. So
Yeah.
again, positional needs for Green Bay, not that we care, is corner, interior O line, and safety. So that's what they're looking at. Big board wise, we've got Cooper DeJean, who can play two positions, ideally. We've got Nate Wiggins from Clemson. If they do go interior, this is another potential pick for JPJ here. If they have him viewed going to guard, they have a need at guard.
Okay.
So you could see Graham Barton or JPJ here potentially. I do think the pick is Cooper DeJean though.
Okay. The program I'm watching is saying as soon as they announced that the Packers were on the board, everyone booed.
Is it
It's a division, yeah.
yeah. So you, the Bears,
Yeah.
Detroit,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest division rival? Is it the Packers?
It's the Packers. They've had our name.
So again, going back, corner being biggest positional need here. You've got Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, and Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. If they end up going into your O-line, we've got Graham Burton or JPJ. They're playing around so they're talking about how the Cowboys have positional need at tackle, even though they traded it back. So they have Green Bay taking a tackle to steal out a pick in front of the Cowboys to make them pay for trading back. I don't necessarily know if that's where Green Bay is going to go, unless they know something I don't. I do think they go corner here.
All right. That was a fast selection.
What? They do go. Holy crap. They go Jordan Morgan, tackle.
Wow.
Yeah, I had been moving up draft boards towards the end of the draft there. At least, again, from the pundit side of things. Wow. So Bill Belichick saying left tackle all the way towards ACL a couple years ago and came back from it. Really great player, especially when you need a left tackle. He's just going to be plug and play, smart guy, knows what he's doing, built for the position. Little Bill saying needs to get a little bit stronger in the lower body. So Tampa on the clock here. Tampa needs edge, interior O-line, linebacker. So edge, we've got Darius Robinson from Missouri. If they go edge, and interior O-line, we got Graham Barton and JPJ. So this is a spot where we could see our guy go. How's your group chat with Green Bay Packer fans? Are they excited?
They're all pissed.
Because they tackle like O-line again, unless it's your passion, right? Unless you're really following these guys.
Right,
this guy is a freaking good player. They were either going to take what were they saying? They wanted people. Did they want the corner, or were they wanting something else?
A lot of they were wanting the corner. Most of them.
I mean, tackle was a big need for them. And and Jordan Love needs now. You're going to have a guy that can be protected for 10 years. And this was looking at you for late first round, early second round prospect. He was looked at as one of the top tackles. It's interesting because Tyler Guyton is still on the board there. That they, these teams were seeing Jordan Morgan higher than him because Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma is still on the board as a late pick. Still see him going before the end of this round. Let's check back. What was coaches? Let's see what coaches wanted them to draft. Said coach is saying 49ers as we come about them. Dream pick, he wanted them to get Latu, or Sione Vaki, who's going to probably go in the second round. He's safety / running back out of Utah.
Hmm.
So I don't think he'll be in the first round, although there was some talk of him moving up the board. But I think he'll be at this point now. I think he'll be second round with Cooper DeJean still there. So he wants a corner. Um, they do need tackle, so I could see them taking Tyler Guyton there as well. With San Francisco, Arizona's still on the board too. And let's see, let me go back in and look what Tonga and so Tonga was saying. Okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. and they wanted so interesting. Big P wants Cooper DeJean late first. He is still there, which I didn't think he would be there.
Hmm.
Interesting with P calling that.
Wow. How would he have known that?
So he knows the board real well.
Hmm.
Freaking knows what he's talking about too. Maybe
Yeah.
because he played in the league.
Right. Right. Cooper DeJean, where is he from again?
So Cooper DeJean is out of Iowa, played corner, but is looked at as a safety by a number of NFL GMs. So with that, I mean, positional versatility, could play both. So Tampa Bay on the clock. We've got to be getting close here. See what their pick is. Again, Bucks need interior O line and edge here. I think the positional value, they probably go JPJ or Graham Barton here. They do need guard, so that would lean it towards Graham Barton more. And a little bit of a reach here. They go edge, even though that's their number one need. Edge is a little bit of reach at the way the board is set up at the moment. But if they go that way, Darius Robinson. But my pick for them is Graham Barton into your
You
O line.
called it. You called it. Just as you
Oh, it
said,
isn't.
Graham Parton. Yeah. Roger
Let's
Goodell
go.
read his name.
Let's go.
26th pick in the first round. Graham Barton from Duke.
Let's go. Okay, so that means interior O line JPJ is like he's the top one. There's no one better than him at guard or
Wow.
center
Center.
left. So we'll see what happens here to the end. If he doesn't go now, he's going to go early second round.
Wow. No,
Now,
yeah.
where you could see a team try and come for him, even trade up for him here,
Mhm.
maybe the Panthers because Panthers have a big center need. Because do you want him for that fifth year? Do you want a guy that can dominate like JPJ? Because that's the value of a first round is you have that fifth year option, right? Now, maybe you don't see center as a position where you're going to have to break the bank to keep somebody, even if he's the top player in the league, which JPJ could become at that position. So maybe they're okay with drafting them early second round, but
Mhm.
our guy right there, I could see someone trading in to the end of the first round. I could even see the Niners taking him because they need O line help. They need more tackle than interior, but we'll see what happens here towards the end. A lot of good players still left. We only have a couple picks though, so we are at pick number 27, Arizona, back on the clock here.
Mm. Goodell's coming out with the pick. Pick is in. 27
So
pick.
edge interior O line. Let's see what happens, man. Maybe JBJ here.
Oh,
Most
wow.
likely they're gonna go Darius Robinson edge out of Missouri.
Here we go. What the Cardinals select? Darius Robinson.
They do? Okay.
Yeah. Edge.
Let's go. Let's go.
Jake with the
I know.
plugs,
I thought,
dude.
yeah, I know P wanted Cooper DeJean there because the value was just crazy, but they went positional need over big board there
Hmm.
because edge was their biggest need at this point. And this is one spot where what the scouts were saying from the media was aligned with what the organization thought. So still got Cooper DeJean on the board. We got Nate Wiggins, cornerback. We got Kool-Aid McKinstry. We got some great corners here. We have a really good D lineman, Johnny Newton. We got AD Mitchell from Texas still on the board. Tyler Guyton, tackle. JPJ. We got the fastest guy ever to run the 40. Xavier Worthy is still here. Lad McConkey in Georgia.
Oh,
So
wow. Still a lot
we've
of
got some
ballers.
exciting stuff, and we've got see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks left. Bills on the board. So Bills have wide receiver and corner as their needs here. And again, with this being it's a deeper draft in wide receiver, at least viewed in wide receiver than corner. So we might see them go corner here over wide receiver, but wide receiver having lost their starting wide receiver getting late in the night, so I can't remember anything anymore.
Man.
But they lost their top wide receiver, so they may go there, and then the top wide receiver would be AD Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Xavier Worthy, his teammate from Texas, that ran the 4.2140. I don't see him going to the Bills. A little skinny guy that's fast. I just don't see that being the best for cold weather, an outdoor stadium type guy. I would
Mm-hmm.
see AD Mitchell is a little bit bigger frame, more muscular, can still run fast. You're a true number one receiver. I see him more likely going to the Bills. So big need there. AD Mitchell. And let's see who they lost. Give me 1 second. I'll be able to tell you. Stephon Diggs is who they lost. And, and say he was their best wide receiver. And so they lost him. And he had 8
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns for them last year. And, Gabe Davis, their number one wide receiver. So they got to draft somebody here. I don't think they think that they have that guy. So I do see them going AD Mitchell here. Although again, it wouldn't surprise me if their top 3 needs. There's good players on here, so which is corner, wide receiver, D line, and Johnny Newton is still on the board, which a lot of people thought he'd be gone by now as well. So, and he's the D tackle from Illinois, and then another pass rushing D tackle. So, but I do think if I'm in their shoes, they lost their best wide receiver. If I'm them, I go AD Mitchell. Oh, is there a trade?
Trade, yeah. Yeah, they just traded up.
Who traded?
The Chiefs.
Oh, they're coming for AD Mitchell. They need wide receiver.
Ooh.
Oh,
And their pick
see,
is in.
I thought they would be going Xavier Worthy to get speed to replace the speed that they lost, but AD Mitchell is the true number one. I see them going AD Mitchell here. So I think Xavier Worthy would have been there if they stayed there.
Mm-hmm. And their pick is in at pick number 28.
Yeah, it's in my head. It's got to be AD Mitchell.
All right. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, because they would have had Xavier Worthy, and that's what I thought they would. Because you get a guy that can fly, that's what they had. That a
Mm-hmm.
guy that was just so fast. You give that to, but I do think maybe with Rice's problems with the law that he had, he fled the scene of an accident last month, and he was their number one guy they were turning. He was a 4th rounder that they drafted. I believe they drafted in the 4th round last year. He was turning into a good player, but if they don't see him as the future, that's why I think they go AD Mitchell here.
Mm.
Giving Patrick Mahomes him is dangerous. I hate Patrick Mahomes having more weapons,
Oh, they're
top
probably
receivers.
there's some straight assassins and snipers over there at KC, man.
Yeah.
They're just sitting back watching and be like, "Ooh, okay, who do we got left?" Right? They're sitting there looking at their board. Who do we got left? Who's left? Who's left?
I
They're
mean,
just
AD
eyeing it.
Mitchell from Texas, he was their number one receiver. He balled out for that program. That program went deep into the postseason. They played really well. They,
Mm-hmm.
they ultimately lost to Washington, in that game, which was
Mm-hmm.
a close game and it was a good game. But let's see if they go speed in Xavier Worthy or
Mm-hmm.
they go true number one with speed in AD Mitchell. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, man. Like everything you want in a receiver. Big catch radius.
Dang. Still on the board. There we go. We're back from commercial break.
So do they go speed or complete receiver? I thought they were going to stay put and take speed,
Mm.
unless they were worried that the Bills were going to take him first. Because again, to replace Cheetah,
Right.
who they lost to Miami, right?
Mm-hmm. Pick is in for the number 28. Rogers walking up to the podium.
Xavier Worthy or AD Mitchell. If it's Xavier Worthy, it's speed that they went
Mm-hmm.
for.
Okay. Speed kills, Speed
Yeah,
hurts, man.
I think
All
he
right.
only weighs like 170 pounds, so that's his knock. He's just a
Oh,
light
okay.
guy, skinny guy.
Oh, great. Another or what is this presentation by Goodell coming up? Two fans walking out, one wearing a Patrick Mahomes jersey and another one wearing a suit. Oh, it's a Make-A-Wish presentation. Justin Laverne talking about how he received a kidney transplant from his father. Justin's love for football and the Chiefs got him through those treatments. All right. Looks like Justin's making the 28th pick.
To the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see who it is.
Yep.
It's got to be Xavier Worthy. I don't. I'm kind of unsure what, because I think they could have stayed put and got him, but I think they were worried that that speed 4.21 speed would go away. Xavier Worthy is my final answer.
All right, here goes. 28th pick. Xavier Worthy,
Oh my
Texas,
gosh.
wide receiver.
I hate Kansas City. Gosh. Joe and Tech are going to be happy.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Dang,
Rich get richer.
just give all the damn weapons to him. Like, no, we'll see how he does in cold weather. That was my issue for the Bills taking him,
Yeah.
was, can a little skinny guy can he perform well even though he's fast like that? I think he's like six. Let's look up his height weight. Let's look Xavier. So I think he's like 6'1". Yep, 6'1", 172.
Wow.
4'2", 40. So, but he's
Wow.
got a good catch radius, can run good routes. Is, he's a real receiver. He's not just a fast runner.
Mm.
Got great hands. I just hate that you're giving that weapon. Again, me not being a fan of Kansas City, you're giving that crazy of a weapon and that kind of speed to Patrick Mahomes. Watch out.
Wow. They're showing his combine run again.
Yeah, flying.
Wow, he's flying. Pick is in for Dallas Cowboys at pick number 29. There he goes. Pick is in. All right, pick is in for Dallas. He drops the envelope as he walks to the podium. All right, we're about to find out who the Cowboys are selecting, who they went all in on with that trade to
So
Detroit.
they need tackle. They need wide receiver. It's interesting to see where they go. Maybe Tyler Guyton, maybe AD Mitchell. Be interested. Like, I think there's be
They,
surprised if
yeah, they got the tackle, Jake. Tyler.
Tyler Guyton. Okay.
Tyler
Yeah.
Guyton. Yeah. That's the eighth tackle of the draft
Yeah.
today.
Deep tackle draft this year.
Wow.
Again, but it means when they take runs on QBs and wide receivers, and it just increases the value of your defensive pick.
Mm.
Assuming that the caliber of the player is just in general of every draft, which I think it still is. It's just the need of wide receiver, tackle, and QB, and the hit rate is so low on it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
pushing some of these defensive players down the board where they normally wouldn't be that far. Like, you still have Cooper DeJean there. You have Baltimore right now, who also needs that tackle and corner here. So, and interior O line. So this could be a JBJ pick. It can be Cooper DeJean. At this point, I mean, you're reaching for a tackle here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle is their number one need, but you got Kingsley Suamataya.
Mm-hmm.
Mataya. I don't know, you could probably pronounce that better. A little bit of reach. He's kind of projected maybe a little bit at the beginning of the second round. But
Mhm.
if they reach for tackle, he'd be the guy. He's a true left tackle, or even Patrick Paul out of Houston is a guy.
Mm.
But could also see them take corner here because you've got Cooper DeJean, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry. Most likely I think they go corner here. Also, don't discount someone coming in to trade with a corner need or somebody trading back in to get AD Mitchell from Texas.
Mm. Pick is in
Maybe
for
maybe
Baltimore.
the pick's in. Okay, so no trade here. I think they go corner. I think they go Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid McKinstry.
All right, let's see. Cooper DeJean still on the board.
Yeah.
D tackle, wide receiver, cornerback.
Yeah,
Okay,
Johnny Newton. So
yeah.
Johnny Newton's still there.
McKinstry from
Wild.
Alabama.
Yeah, I think McKinstry is who they're going to take. Oh, maybe Nate Wiggins.
Mm. Jake, I love your analysis, man. You've been spot on this whole show, this whole draft so far, man. That's amazing.
The further down I get, though, the less sure I am.
Mhm.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Patriots try and come trade with San Francisco in the next pick to try and come get wide receiver ahead of Buffalo.
Mm.
Because we have pick number 34. It wouldn't be that much of a jump to go get AD Mitchell. But
So 32 picks, right? First round.
right,
We're at pick number 30.
almost there.
Almost there. It's been quite a interesting draft so far. The Bears seem to, be stacking from what they got that Caleb Williams and that wide receiver.
Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of Washington. When you after this watch highlights on Roma Dunze
Okay.
and then tell me what you think and how you feel.
Okay.
Did you talk to any of your other Bears fans? Do you have a
Yeah.
what would any commentary they were saying about the picks?
Here comes the pick. Nate Wiggins, defensive
Okay,
back,
they were Clemson.
Clemson. Yeah.
Yep, yep. It was either him or Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Yep. So for San Fran needs corner here. You might see Cooper DeJean here. Um, Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid because I don't think there's a tackle in range
Mm.
positional here.
Wow. Just they're showing some of Nate Wiggins.
Long shot JPJ here.
Wow, he has a hustle on him. Fam Cam shows him with his family in Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty
Yeah,
cool. Pretty cool.
Belichick is saying great man-to-man quarter. Not a really big guy. He's like 175 pounds, so may need to put on some weight, but he's fast and really good man-to-man.
Mm. Two more picks to go. Coming up here, folks. We got pick 31.
San Francisco on the board with tackle and corner as their biggest needs. You got Cooper DeJean on the board, but again, more seen like a safety than a corner, although can play both positions. Played corner for Iowa. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry, who was on the other side for Alabama from Terrion Arnold. And he's still on the board as well. And then you have, the tackle. You have the tackle out of BYU, Kingsley Suamatia. He's a little bit of a reach there, just in terms of how the board is set up, or maybe even Patrick Paul from Houston at tackle. But you're reaching a little bit more positional value. I think you have a higher value at corner here, even though it's not the biggest need. It's the second biggest need for Frisco. And
Mm.
then long shot here is interior O line. So you could see JPJ here. If we're wanting them to come out of the first round, we've got to see it happen here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to push to next round where we might see the Carolina Panthers take him early second round because they do have a positional need at center, wide receiver. So
Mm.
we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Do the Patriots have a second round pick?
34.
Mm,
Yep, we're right at the beginning of the second round.
very nice. Yeah, we're round 3, pick 75, and then round 4, pick 122. So no second round picks for us. So who's the last pick tonight?
It's Buffalo at
Buffalo.
32.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we got 2 picks left.
Okay.
Buffalo's going to go wide receiver, and they're
Mm,
going to go AD Mitchell most likely, unless they do something crazy like there's a kid Xavier Leggett from South Carolina that's just incredible ball, a little raw in terms of his route running,
mm-hmm.
but super crazy, like running for touchdowns all over the place. It built real like he's real swole, so he runs a 4.4, I think maybe high 4.3 at like 215. So just like 220. He's like muscled up kid, 6'1", 6'2", just real explosive, super athlete. So he could potentially sneak in to Buffalo, maybe Keon Coleman from Florida State, who we were talking about earlier, but most likely it's going to be AD Mitchell out of Texas. Um, that's where we're going to see them. Now, San Francisco, going back to them, I just think it's too much a reach for a tackle, but I think they're going to go corner here. And I think they're going to go Kool-Aid McKinstry. Keeping in mind, Cooper DeJean, who's a hybrid safety corner, is on the board, but I do think Frisco needs a pure corner here, which that's what Kool-Aid is.
Mm. All right. Pick is in for the 49ers. Moving right along. They were 12-5 last year. Lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year and earlier this year.
If they do go tackle, it's Patrick Paul or Kingsley Suamatia.
Mhm.
Um, but again, here cornerback, most likely it's going to be Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Again, what is the need for Frisco right now? 49ers?
Frisco needs tackle and corner.
Mm.
They do need interior O line. That's further down on priorities. So
Mm.
again, this would be really the last spot where JPJ could go.
All right, commissioner's making his way to the stage. Bills are already on the clock. Again, the Chiefs traded up moments ago to take the wide receiver, and the Bills will choose last.
Right?
All right. Here we go. 31st pick is Ricky
Oh,
Pearsall,
Ricky Pearsall.
Florida, wide
Okay.
receiver.
Wow. So this guy, think of like Julian Edelman. Is that he's like that kind of a player? So
What?
will dominate the middle of the field. Had his athletic profile, his broad jump,
Mm-hmm.
his 40 time, and his 3 cone was off the charts. So a guy, change of direction type of guy, um, move the chains type of guy will dominate the middle of the field for you.
Mm. Nice.
I do think it was a reach at that point, but interesting that they go because he was probably the 4th or 5th receiver down. But that type of guy, Lad McConkey was maybe a similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
Was ranked higher on a lot of boards, but interesting. San
Mm.
Francisco goes wide receiver here. And I wonder if that's like writing on the board for,
Brandon Ayuk.
yeah, who's a route, because this guy's a route runner, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does. Ayuk is a more true number one, but um, just interesting that they're looking at that way. If they can't get him re-signed, now they take Pearsall.
Oh, there's a trade. Carolina Panthers trade up to the 32nd pick.
So they're coming maybe for JPJ.
Hmm.
coming up for Leggett or AD Mitchell.
Wow, they traded. What did they just give up?
They didn't move far because they were the number one pick of the second round.
Second round? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So Buffalo receives second round pick 33rd and fifth round pick 141st. Carolina receives 32nd overall pick and sixth round pick in the 200th pick. All right.
Yeah. So Bill's talking about like, why would you come in the first round is for the 5th year option at the last pick to try and get that 5th year option. You want a guy that's a highly paid because you can lock him in that 5th year without having to pay him.
Mm,
So you're looking at highly paid positions: corner, tackle, wide receiver,
mm,
and there's no QBs here at the end of
right.
this round.
All right. Well, pick
So
is in. Pick is in.
AD Mitchell, Keon Coleman, or Xavier Leggett. That's who I had the Bills taking. I think the Bills are probably comfortable taking any of those three, so that's why they're willing to trade down a couple picks. But it's got to be in my head. It's got to be wide receiver here.
Okay. Yeah, Bryce Young needs some weapons around him, huh?
Definitely. Although like they gave up so many picks and then to trade up a little bit, lose a 5th rounder, like they need that 5th rounder. But apparently they view whoever
Dude,
guy is here left, they view it worth it.
the commentators are just saying Jackson Power Johnson right now.
Oh, JB. So center was their second biggest need. That's sneaky. But so my argument there is I don't think anybody would take him in front of them
They're
unless they
saying,
really think JPJ is going to be top end. If he really is the top end center, I don't think that's big money, but maybe they want the 5th year option anyways. But if they view
mm,
him as going to be the number one center in the league,
yeah.
or perhaps the number one guard, yeah, because that was center was their second need behind wide receiver.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love it if it's JPJ.
Wow. Come on, baby. Make it happen. Yeah, the guys just said no. I think Jackson Power Jackson or JBJ might be the one.
I mean, you got AD Mitchell, you got Keon Coleman and Xavier Leggett for just like ballers, real high potential ceiling. But if you go center, it's got to be JPJ.
All right, last pick. Here we go.
Oh, Xavier
South Carolina.
Leggett.
Look at yeah.
Bro, when you get a chance, watch his highlights, bro. This is why. So that's what I was saying. AD Mitchell or Xavier Leggett from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they were because they're coming up for a big play guy. Xavier Leggett needs some work on his route running, but what an explosive athlete.
All right. Xavier Leggett, wide receiver out of South Carolina. They say he's like AJ Brown upside.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
but faster than AJ Brown.
but faster. Wow.
Yeah, he's not as big in terms of height because I
Mm-hmm.
think AJ Brown's what six was he six
Mm-hmm.
6'3", 6'4",
Mm-hmm.
but can jump. He's got like a 40-inch vertical, runs a 4.4 at like 220, 215, and yeah,
Wow.
just like 11-foot broad jump. He's really really good athlete. Can high point
Wow.
the ball. He has elite ability to track the ball after it's thrown.
Mm-hmm.
He had that Spencer Rattler kid as his quarterback, and so
Mm.
some of the throws were like he would just throw it up in the general direction of Xavier Leggett, and Xavier Leggett had a really elite ability to adjust to the ball in there.
Wow. Yeah, it's showing that.
And yeah.
Wow.
And then just like you can see the way he runs past people after like his run after the catches is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Well, shoot. Exciting first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Finally got a generational talent at quarterback again for the Bears. And some key takeaways there. We got a nice little receiver,
Yeah.
baller. How do
Yep.
you what are your some takeaways and wrap up for the evening, Jake?
Yeah. So Drake May, I'm happy with that. Give us a chance. He's got some work to do. He's got to work on his footwork and his reads. But he's been viewed as a potential generational talent for the past 3 years. I'm glad we didn't get cutesy with it. I'm glad we took him because we need him as our biggest need. Now we got to look at tackle and wide receiver. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with how the board fell. We had a couple surprises. We saw Penix go early. We saw Bo Nix go early. There were 6 quarterbacks in the first 15 picks. So it's just quite the draft. Tomorrow, we've got some really good players still on the board. We got Cooper DeJean, we got Kool-Aid McKinstry, we got Johnny Newton at D tackle, we got AD Mitchell, who we might see us. We might see our guy JPJ should go early in next round as well.
Mhm.
Now with Carolina taking Xavier Legette, that was a big need for them to get center. So we'll see, who we'll look at that tomorrow. But it's definitely some high profile guys. Keon Coleman, these guys will all go early in the beginning of the second round. But yeah, man, it was fun hanging out, kind of seeing how it rolled. I can't believe it. It's been like 4 hours.
Really? Wow. What time is it? Oh, yeah. Yep, yep. It's been like 4 hours, man. Well, shoot,
Yeah,
that's
I'm.
what's up, man. This is it's been fun sitting here listening to your analytics and all your research and all stuff. So that was dope too, just to hear how it came about, played out tonight. Really
I'll
good
have to
because a lot of
start.
the times you were spot on, brother.
Yeah, but well, I only thought of us doing this when I'll have to get more spot on so I can recall just some of the better stats and play styles and that type of a thing. But
Mhm,
really, I was just trying to focus what guys are going to go where in the needs. I didn't
mhm,
necessarily know the players that well, just knew where they were going. So if we do this again next year, when we do this next year, I'll try and have a little bit more knowledge of the individual players a little bit more. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I'm happy for you guys. I think the Bears made good choices. I think the Patriots made good choices. I think Frisco was kind of surprised us with Pearsall, but that's a hell of a player too. So, and they probably thought they couldn't get him at the end of the second round tomorrow.
mm,
So, that's why I think they draft him. And then is some insurance against Ayuk leaving.
mm. Yeah, talks of him leaving.
You know,
Yeah, all in all, great draft, man. Great time hanging
and
out with you,
and
Jake.
screw the Chiefs for taking Xavier Worthy
Yeah, and the
and
rich.
getting the damn cheat code.
Yeah, for real. And the rich get richer, man. Sheesh.
Yeah,
Who did they trade to make that happen? The Cowboys?
they traded with the Bills.
Bills. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Screw the Bills too. Hope they lose.
I know. Screw the Bills too.
They
My
screwed
division
themselves.
rival.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, this has been a great what Thursday? Is it Thursday today? Thursday
Yep.
evening, man.
Yep. Thanks for
2024.
thanks for showing up and talking it through with me. And yeah,
This is fun, man.
we'll see how tomorrow goes, but maybe we'll do round 2 tomorrow.
Yeah,
And or we'll definitely report in from the chat.
definitely. All right, man. Well, thank you all for listening again, and be sure to follow and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Help us make it to 1,000.
Let's go.
All right.